Seems like we are live now.
Yeah.
So, hello and welcome back. It's been 2 weeks, because last week there was a lot of chaos trying to organize a session for various reasons. But this week we somehow managed to pull it all together, despite it being on a Saturday instead of a Sunday and being later than we're supposed to play. It worked out in the end, so I'm not gonna complain. So yeah, welcome back. We have a recap to take care of. Probably not much else to say. We finally hit 50 followers last time, so that was cool. Now we just need to.
Thanks to me.
Now we just need to stream on some other days of the week and stuff, and then we might be able to become affiliates or whatever it's called. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go get the recap, so that we can finally get back to playing. Last time, 2 weeks ago, the session started with Dara going up to the mansion of Barnabas Ignis and knocking on the door, distracting the servant named Cephalus, so that Storm and Jaxson could sneak inside and go search the house. They did so, eventually finding a safe that contained both a journal, a poem that was within that journal, and then the seal that you were looking for. Meanwhile, Dara kind of stayed behind and talked a bit to the servant and got like something to drink or something, just kind of hung out there. After Dara found out that the seal had been acquired, she still decided to stay at the mansion instead. Kind of feeling bad for condemning a man that she had never even seen to death. And decided that it would be better to just stay there long enough to at least know who it is that you have doomed. So Dara stayed behind, knowing that she would have to wait until nightfall, which was many hours away. In the meantime, Arisa and Fritz, who was kind of semi-absent mentally for some reason, really strange, the two of them went and visited the amphitheater, where they found Kessler, who leapt off the stage and immediately approached them with a smile, apologizing for not getting a chance to talk to them after the improv session, and introducing himself as Colby Weathers, a man whose name you've read on the posters for the Golden Oak play in the city. As he was kind of making it clear that either he was not in fact Kessler or he was a brilliant liar in this situation, Arisa instantly decided to just play along and said that her name was Lunara, and when Fritz was eventually asked, he took a moment to think, but eventually stammered a very unsure Sven, because why not? You then had a bit of a conversation with the man. He explained that he was contacted by Faunen, not Fawnman, as some of you like to say, but Faunen. And he was asked to take part in this. No, that's. You know what? I take Fayman over Fawnman, to be honest.
What? Wow.
Yeah, because it's better than. Yeah.
I can go with fake.
Faunen, so it's Fawnman, but with an N instead of the M, which makes a big difference.
Fayman.
Anyway, he was contacted by Faunen to take part in this improv event, but he wasn't really sure about who actually organized it, or didn't really know all that much about it, except for it being some sort of contemporary alternative history play thingy that was an ongoing thing. So you had that conversation and thanked him for talking to you, and you parted ways. Jaxson, after concluding the little heist on Ignis's place, returned to the Nocturnal Nymph where he left the message for Fanon as had been agreed upon before, writing that the seal had been acquired. As you kind of met up again, Storm was feeling a bit impatient and decided that no, we're not going to wait until Fanon responds. We're going to go figure out where he is. So with that, Storm headed up to the suite of the luxurious inn where he had figured out that Fanon was staying, breaking into this place and investigating it. Soon enough, Storm found some clothes and the signature gray and brown shades that Fanon always wears when you've seen him, which confirmed that he had indeed been staying there. Storm rummaged through some documents, kind of looking at, well, report-like things that had been sent to Fanon and whatnot, but took little interest in that. Before leaving, somebody entered the suite, and Storm, sitting in the study of the little apartment, just waited there. And as somebody walked in, he turned around and said, "I've been expecting you," realizing that it wasn't Fanon at all, but rather some elven servant. Storm interrogated him, threatening to kill him if he didn't take him to Fanon, as it was clear that he was working for him. But the elf determined that it would be preferable to die than to be dishonored, and so refused to tell Storm anything, except that he was there to pick up the things, the belongings of Fanon. So Storm followed him outside as he left, signaling Jaxson to come with, and outside there was a carriage waiting for him, some guards watching over it. The servant jumped on the carriage, ordered the guards to stop you. They failed as Jaxson just misty stepped past them, and Storm, being a slippery son of a bee, slipped past. And so you ended up on top of this carriage that was speeding off. Storm, I think you were the one who actually held the driver at knife's point, whereas Jaxson wrestled with the servant in the back.
Did Jaxson even have a weapon?
Nope.
No, he just wrestled with him, but Jackson's pretty strong at least, so. It turns out that the carriage driver was easier to persuade than the servant, and he did drive you to the intended destination, which was a residential area, and it stopped outside a house that was heavily guarded. The guards soon swarmed you and forced you to make your escape, but you were pretty sure that you had figured out where Fanon was living, at least. Some time went by. You just kind of AFK'd a bit, taking care of your regular stuff. Eventually Jaxson, while relaxing in his room, heard a knock, and a letter was delivered to him. A letter from Fanon that essentially said that you were to meet him in 2 hours outside the palace, in the palace square. And that he did not appreciate your little mischievous adventures earlier in the day. At this point, Dara's waiting finally paid off, as the man she'd been waiting for finally returned back to his home. However, the big surprise came as she realized that Barnabas Ignis was, as a matter of fact, a man known to the party by the name of Benedict Blaze, an old friend, I suppose you could almost say, who let you stay with him as you were being quite oppressed in Riverport by the prejudiced Duke. That was not a very popular figure. He was glad to see Dara, but the mood quickly changed as Dara warned him of Kessler's plans to steal his seal, without mentioning the co-workers' involvement in the entire thing. And so Cephalus, the servant of Blaze, ran off and discovered that the seal was indeed missing. Blaze then resigned to his fate, essentially said that he would go first thing in the morning to the palace and report himself for having lost the seal, thus sealing his own fate and ensuring his own death. However, doing so in the hopes that whatever the intent for the seal would be stopped or prevented. Dara quickly sent word for the rest of the group using Florp, which found Jaxson and Arisa. Arisa then sent her conjured up mastiffs as messengers to find Storm and Fritz, who had just met up at the Drunken Sea Elf, where Storm had spent the night gambling, and Fritz just took a quick swing past to see if anything was going on over there. And so, where we left off, Jaxson and Arisa were headed towards the residence of Barnabas, Ignis / Benedict Blaze, and so were Storm and Fritz, divided in those two groups. And so I ask, is there anything anyone would like to do before you all arrive?
I don't
Not really.
think so.
No.
In that case, I believe that, let me just check the map here. I finally rotated the map so that it's properly oriented, but now I'm getting all tripped out by that because I'm not used to it. So the library district is where you are headed. You are in the garden district / the hollows near it. So I'm pretty sure that Arisa and Jaxson would be arriving first, considering that you would have probably left as soon as the messengers were sent out.
We were on our way when the messengers were sent.
Yeah. So therefore you'd be arriving much sooner than Fritz and Storm. So the two of you, once you arrive at at your destination, what do you want to do?
I guess we knock.
Okay.
What hour of the day was it? Or evening?
It's late. I mean, it's past.
Wait, how
it's,
long has it been since I got the letter from Fawn?
Probably about 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, okay, good.
I think, I can't remember for sure, but I'd say that it's probably around 10 p.m.-ish. But I'm not completely sure about that. I might have said something different last time, but it should be around 10 p.m.-ish.
What do you think we should do?
Well,
should we just knock, or?
yeah, knocking should be just fine. I think his servant will just come and open it.
What should we say?
Well, that we're here for dinner, I guess. That we are old friends of him.
All right, sure. I guess I knock.
Okay, so you walk up to the very nice looking house. You knock on the door. A moment passes. Dara, you being inside, you hear the knock. You all kind of been sat in a very somber atmosphere. You know, you're all sitting there. Nobody's really sure what to say at this point. But you're all just gathered around the table. As you hear the knock on the door, Cephalus gets up and just says, "Well, I will go get it," and he heads off. You see this elven man dressed in kind of servant's clothes opens the door. His eyes are a bit red, as if they're kind of tearing up.
Oh.
When he opens. Yes, I suppose that you are friends of Dara. Is that correct?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I guess
Yes.
that would be apt.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And he gestures and steps aside, and you go in, and he just kind of points. You can walk straight across the garden. The dining hall is straight ahead and to the left. Just go there, and you will find your friend waiting.
Will do.
So you head there.
Yeah.
You walk across this little garden space in the middle of the courtyard garden to the other side. You take a left turn, as he said, and you come to the little dining room where you see Dara is sitting, as well as Benedict Blaze, whom you have not seen in 9 months or so, I guess.
Oh, 9. That's...
Damn.
Damn. I thought it was
Quite a
like
while.
7.
No, it's just over 10 months since this started the campaign. Because it's the 10th, and we started on the 7th.
It's in a year. Wow.
And is, it's Autumn's Wind now, which is the 10th month. Well, there are 14 months in this world, so, you know. It's not quite as much as 10 months in the real world.
Okay.
You see Benedict Blaze stands up as he sees you and walks over. You see he's also very clearly distressed and does not look to be in a great mood. But he gets up, he approaches you. I am very glad to see that you could come. Jaxson, I quite frankly almost didn't recognize you.
Yes, I look quite different now.
You sure do. Arisa, you are recognizable. I'm glad to see both of you. Please, go on, sit down wherever you'd like. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to cook up a meal for everybody, but...
Don't worry about that.
We'll find something for you to eat, or at the very least drink. I don't know how much you know about the situation, but please sit down first. And he goes back and sits down at the short end of the table where he was sitting before.
I will go and sit down, I guess.
Yeah. I sit down next to Dara if there's space there.
Well, how much do you know about all this?
That's a tricky question. If we're talking about the theft, about as much as you know, maybe a bit more or less. I don't know exactly what Dara has told you yet.
Well, you know that the seal has been stolen, at least.
Yeah.
That's mainly what I was wondering, if you had been given that information.
Yeah.
And
Well,
at least presume the mastermind behind it.
yes, Dara mentioned that. Are your other friends coming as well? Or...
We sent out word for them, so if the words come through, then we'll probably be here.
I would be happy to get a chance to say hi to them tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, things are obviously not looking very great.
No. But, so what is this I hear about you trying to... or going and committing suicide?
No. I wouldn't say suicide. It would be doing the right thing and admitting to my errors. True, that
What
will
do you mean? I
result
thought
in my death.
all
but
I came as quickly as I heard, but all I got, or at least perceived, I thought Dara mentioned that you were going to commit suicide.
No, that would be a bit of an oversimplification of things. You know, losing a seal is by law punished with death. It is a
Yes.
very serious crime.
Yes.
As a historian and a man who knows the value of literature and historical records, arcane texts, I realize that they must be protected at all costs. And in this case, that cost happens to be my life.
Oh, you're going to tell... Oh.
I see no other honorable way than to head first thing in the morning to the palace and admit to having lost my seal.
But what if we can instead... I do not want to dissuade you, per se. I agree with you that telling is most assuredly one of the proper ways to go about this. But think about it like this. I do value knowledge and secrecy, but what if you instead could, I don't know, figure out who stole it or manage to reclaim it?
If that were the case and it were to be done before the morning, then I see no need for me to be put to death. Rather, I would go and I would hand in my seal and say that I, due to my fear of being robbed of it, cannot see myself as fit to hold it. It wouldn't be punished, but I would lose my seal.
I see. But may I ask, is there any way of finding it, tracking? I would assume something this valuable would have some kind of spell protecting it.
There are spells protecting them in a sense, but not like that. These seals are... They cannot be tracked that simply. If one is lost, it
is lost.
essentially, well, yes, it can be disabled by essentially changing the passcode, the frequency at which it is attuned to the private wing, if that makes sense. I am no alchemist myself, but...
So what you're saying is, I know not much about this seal, other than...
View it as a key.
Yeah.
Much like any key, the lock can be changed should the key be lost.
And each one has an individual signature.
No, all of these seals are virtually identical to one another. And that is partially also the problem. You can change the lock, but you cannot retune the keys as easily. You would need to bring your seal in and have it readjusted to work with the reattuned lock. A complicated process, but rarely necessary.
I think I understand. So...
This is also partially why the seals are rarely given to people such as myself that cannot properly defend them.
I see.
Most holders are former excellents of the Arcanum.
So, you know, not but a way of finding the culprit?
You have mentioned that you know the man behind the plot, and I suppose that would be...
Do we?
Well, you said so yourself, that you...
Oh, I know the mastermind, yes.
Yes,
but
the man behind
I
the plot.
he would steal it, as I recently found out he might not even exist, as as the entity we've known him for.
Regardless, that is essentially, from my point of view, the best chance of finding whoever is guilty. See, conducting an investigation with these matters, it's so much easier for the Queen and the court to simply put the irresponsible person to death and then reattune the lock.
I see. And you don't see any hope of managing to convince the Queen to double up the guard duty temporarily, and then
it has never been done in the past. I see no reason why it would be done now. I am not that special. Seals have been stolen on occasion.
But you gotta see, I do not want to let my friend die if it can be avoided, and especially not by the cause of a wrongdoing of others.
I understand that, and I appreciate it, but you must understand that there is very little to be done about this situation.
I disagree.
Well, if you have a suggestion, then please go ahead. I will not deny it.
Well, if you want me to be blunt, I can be blunt. In this case, I see a few options. Some of them are potentially viable. Some, I would say, not in this case. If we begin with the ones that I doubt are especially viable, we have, of course, flight. The thing you do not want to do, but you could flee under the cloak of night and never return.
There's one part with that can work.
What?
If you were to send a messenger to tell the Queen about the seal, and then run.
Of course, that would still that's actually an excellent idea. So if we were to take the flight option, then we can at least send a message in some way to the Queen, still alerting him, but would still render you a fugitive. And I doubt you
still
won't
alive.
Yes.
I would have no chances of running from the Queen.
It will be hunted down by mages and such.
I know. That's why I'm saying it's not a particularly viable. I'm starting out with the not so great ones. But you made a valid point there. Then we have, of course, speaking to the Queen and pleading for a bargain of some sort. Either maybe we can get her to give us a week. It's one in, I don't know.
Risk cannot be taken. The seals must be reattuned.
What I meant by that is simply this, that if you go there, if you're to be put to death anyway, why not ask the Queen to render your services and finding him, giving them a week while they either double up or don't even let anybody in. So they still retune the entire thing.
They must be retuned, and the cost of doing so is the guilty person's life.
Yes.
I'm not saying that I will walk in and suggest that I be put to death, but I know how these things go.
What I am simply arguing is why not try and finding a solution, because I don't know about any of the other thefts, but this man, as far as we have been able to gather, he is quite a great danger, and potentially even on the maps for Syria and the Queen. So, why not take the opportunity when instead of just saying nothing and letting your death only be a warning to stop this occasion? Why not attempt to have it be that and much more?
I'm certain that Oseria will take this very seriously and put all their efforts toward that. However, I'm afraid that I have nothing to contribute. I'm a historian. I study
You could vouch
old
for us?
scripts. Of course, but I see no reason why you couldn't do that yourselves.
Because simply we do not have a relationship with the Queen of Assyria like you do.
Fair, but I don't see why that would change my standings. Quite frankly, in admitting my failure to protect the seal, I give up all trust that I have built. I give up my life, my everything.
But what I mean is, if you were to render your life to the Queen, why not instead do it with greater purpose?
Because quite frankly, no matter what I suggest, I have already been deemed a failure at that point.
Yes.
They would see no reason to listen to my word.
Okay, let's move on then, because nevertheless, I never said this was particularly likely or viable plan.
I understand.
To some more viable, still gonna be immense task, we have, as I suggested before, somehow trying to track down the amulet before dawn.
If you know of such a way, then I would, as I said before, definitely not deny that opportunity. However, I don't personally, again, have a way for me to find it. I would be entirely reliant on others, and a lot of mages at the moment are preoccupied with the war efforts.
Of course. But an alternative to this, as you mentioned, the reattunement.
Yes.
I don't know how much you know about the seals, but is there a way for us to potentially cause an alarm against them to say, let's say, theoretically, another seal were to be stolen that does not belong to somebody?
The seals are specifically made for each individual.
I get that. It's not. I'm not saying just a specific seal. I just don't know the method. But let's say some way to trigger them and to force them to render all keys invalid. Would there be potentially something? I know it would be immensely difficult.
It would mean
if so.
to reattune the lock to the private wing.
Do you know any way of? Do you know any other way than a lost or stolen amulet, which would cause them to lock down the private wing?
No, quite frankly not. It is protected in a way that there is no need to trigger a lockdown unless a seal has been stolen. That is the only circumstance under which they would ever have reason to prevent access to the private wing. The individuals that hold the seals are few and very trusted. It is only if someone who shouldn't have a seal acquires one that it would be reattuned.
If the seals, how do they verify a seal is real, other than using it? Can we spread a rumor that a seal has been lost, and then create a duplicate that doesn't work, but at least close enough to buy us some time in finding?
Doing so would essentially be the same as creating a fully functional seal. It is immensely difficult, and I do not know if anybody knows those secrets except for those that make the seals.
Well, not necessarily, unless the seal does not need to be able to open anything. It doesn't need to be tuned to.
No, but for the magic of those who would investigate it to fail to detect the difference,
I guess
it would require to be authentic.
So I guess to sum up what I got right now is finding a way for them to lock down the private wing without it being revealed that one is lost somehow. I guess fly. And then pleading in with the Queen for an investigation or finding it before dawn. Yeah, that's not much of a hope, is it?
I will also say, if you were to somehow trigger that fail-safe for the vault, eventually they would come to collect my seal to have it reattuned anyway.
Yeah, that's why I'm talking about making a fake. That would buy us, I don't know, maybe hopefully like a week or so.
Well, the copy would likely not buy any additional time. It would be
That's what I'll make it.
discovered essentially
Yes, what I mean is
instantly.
the only way a copy or a dupe would be able to give us any time is if it's close enough that it only would be discovered when they try attuning it again.
Which would be the moment they come to collect it. It is
Surely that would take you some time.
not as long as you think, I suspect.
Damn.
Perhaps it would buy us a day.
Well, anybody else got an idea? Arisa at this point like just gives us a sigh and just slouches back in her chair.
I believe that we should wait for the others and make
At this
it
point you
little-
hear a knock. Or I assume so. Storm and
You do not.
Oh, okay, never mind. I should have asked that.
I feel like he's just gonna open up a window and jump out. Captain,
Actually, there's a
Serge!
knock, but it turns out that was just somebody else.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, man.
It was a
Continue,
salesman.
Dara. Continue, Dara.
Girl Scouts.
It would be a good idea if we could be able to gather everyone up and make a quick discussion about what we can do if to find this certain seal beforehand.
Of course.
And then we can see what our options are based on what we know of the seal, what we can do to collect the seal.
Yes,
is-
but well, I mean, we have some time before. Like, let's make the most of it.
Okay, so at this point, Storm
yeah,
and
so-
Fritz.
What I mean there is also any delay time would just keep going back and forth, I guess, unless everybody just wants
Well,
to be silent.
Storm and Fritz, you see this salesman walk away from the house. You have no idea what a salesman is doing this late, and besides, you've never seen a door-to-door salesman before. You don't know this person.
Oh, it paid
This
10
figure
$39.
with a
Oh, damn.
with what's we would probably describe as a briefcase and a vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
And I
he's
don't
back.
see the others.
Awfully strange.
No, everybody else
Yeah.
is nowhere to be seen.
Exactly. Wait. Fritz, do you get what this? They want us inside with the we you know I've stole the seal, right?
Do I know
And they
that?
want me inside where I stole the
Yeah,
seal.
you've
I
been
think we
told,
said
like, you
that.
had a bit of a meeting after.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You see the salesman now comes walking up to you.
Excuse me, sirs. Would you care to purchase some alchemical cleaning solution? Simply let me demonstrate.
And he pulls out this bottle and a bit of a
Southern
rag and just pours some in
Northern.
it. He's like,
Do you have something made of
Southern
metal,
Northern.
for,
No, dirt
for
stuff.
instance?
oh yeah, that's right. It's all in Southern common. That's right.
Yeah,
So you
we
just
know
hear him
exactly.
babble on in a foreign language.
Oh lord.
Speaking Drexonic.
He's just doing his thing. Me and Storm are like, clapping.
Yeah.
Great. Great.
He points at. You're carrying your weapons, I assume.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
he just points at like one of Storm's scimitars and is like,
Giving the scimitar.
Oh.
and he grabs the rag that he's poured a bit of the liquid on, and he starts like polishing the blade, and he's like,
Oh.
and you
Does
see
it
that
look
it
good?
looks pretty shiny.
Which sword?
I don't know which
Like-
one did you give him.
One of the swords like couldn't get dirty, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or if it's magical, you mean?
Is it,
Yeah, the magical one.
No, I give the one that is dirty, of course.
okay, so he cleans it, and you see that it gets this nice shine. The kind of like early moonlight shines on it, and it reflects in a very like clean, polished way. And it's,
I give me, I hand over
Minecraft.
gold and point at one of the cleaning products, the oils.
He takes one bottle. He's like, huh? and he takes his own pouch, and he kind of counts like 10 gold, and he shows that. He's like, huh? It's a pretty decent sized bottle, and he didn't seem to use that much for it.
I show 5 gold.
He takes away 1 gold, and it's like,
8.
He takes away 1 gold and puts out 5 silver.
Ooh.
Fuck it, I'm fucking rich. Bam, I get.
So you give him 8 gold and 5 silver, and
Yep.
he hands you the bottle, and he turns to you, Fritz, and is like,
Yeah, Fritz just crosses his arms and starts shaking his head pretty, like,
And he points to your, I guess you have a sword, right? Your moon sword.
yeah.
Yeah. And he points towards that, and it's like,
I just kind of grab Storm by the arm and start just like walking off, like.
That he walks away.
Yeah, it's like you were saying.
Okay, I was saying, we have stolen the seal. Why the hell would they want me inside there? They know who I am.
I mean, I don't know. It's.
Would you want to go in and speak with the one who we set up for death?
Well, not really.
Like, why would we care? It's just some random dude.
Right.
Or did we say? We didn't say that it was Bennett. I don't know. It's Bennett's place.
No, I don't think so.
No.
It was just
Neither of us
emergency
do.
meeting at Barnabas Ignis's residence.
Yeah.
It's just a
Something
random
like
dude.
that.
Since when have we cared about that? Or maybe Arisa.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have something that's really quite something. I don't know.
Yeah, you can go in. I'll stay outside, and then you'll come out if it's something important. Nice.
Like, you do know
Right.
that Dara stayed there after you left and was gonna wait to meet with him, so you can assume that she had
Have fun
did with him.
inside.
Well, I mean, I guess they know. Well, who knows really that Storm stole it?
Yeah, everyone.
Everyone knows.
Well, in the party, yeah.
Well, in the
Yeah.
party, yeah.
In the party, yeah.
Aside from that,
Yeah, because I think you had a
No.
proper, like, all 5 of you were gathered after the little
Except
heist.
Dara.
Dara was
Oh, yeah,
part
yeah,
of the
true,
official
yeah.
original plan of stealing this.
Yeah,
Yeah, she knew about it, like, just happened.
And they
Right, but
told
no.
her when they were invisible. Hey Dara, we got the seal. We're gonna get out. You wanna come? Nah.
But Dara has also communicated with Jaxson and Arisa through Florp after, so
Well-
she also knows about, like...
And they probably have food inside there. So enjoy yourself, Fritz. I'll chill in the shadows, and you call my name when I'm needed. I'm gone.
First just kind of grunts and starts walking. It's like,
Yeah, so you
Like,
you turn around and you just look over your shoulder a bit, and Storm is just gone.
yeah. Even if I wanted to bring him, like, oh god.
But yeah, you walk up to the house, and
Yeah.
I assume you knock.
Yeah.
Alright, so you knock. The rest of you continue to talk a little bit more, I guess. You hear another knock on the door, and you see Cephalus
Goddamn
run from the
sales.
kitchen across to the door.
That should be Storm.
Yeah, so Fritz, Cephalus, the servant, opens and... Well, you don't look like a salesman. So, are you
You
perhaps...
mean that weird?
Yes.
No, yeah. No.
Are you perhaps one of Dara's friends?
Yeah. Yes.
Right, well, welcome in then.
Fritz enters.
he gestures, kind of gives you the same directions that I gave the others when they arrived. So you walk through, because I assume you follow the directions and don't walk off to some other place. And you come to this dining hall. You see some of your companions sitting there, and you see this elven man with longer white hair, kind of on the older side of things, although elves always look quite young, who turns around and stands up, and you see now that this is Benedict Blaze, who you also met about 9 months ago. He stands up.
Right.
Fritz, pleasure to see you.
Ah,
You seem to be in good health.
Benedict.
Yes, Benedict Blaze, Barnabas Ignis. I go by different names. Welcome.
I see. Thank you.
As you may be able to see, we haven't really gotten much to eat for all of you, but Cephalus is working on getting something ready at least. Yes, please go on ahead, have a seat here. We were just discussing how to go about certain things. Have you perhaps seen your companion traveling person? Storm.
Storm.
Yes. Have you seen him?
To be completely honest with you, I'm not quite sure where he went. Because Fritz genuinely didn't see him when he started hiding or whatever.
Well, perhaps he will show up eventually.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Very well. He kind of asks you what you know, and I guess you don't really know much, or it's up to you what you want to tell him.
Me?
Yeah, because he would ask you, like the others, like how much you know about the situation.
Well, I mean, nothing really. I mean, I do know the storm thing, I guess, but perhaps that isn't the best. I won't bring that up. I'm not gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
I'm just mostly oblivious, I suppose.
Yeah, so you just say, like, I assume you just say that you have pretty much no clue then.
Yeah.
And he, as quickly as possible, kind of recaps, what the others have talked to him about before, and about the situation, how the seal was stolen, and how he's going to turn himself in, and that the group has been discussing alternative ways to go about things. As he's in the middle of the recap, you see Cephalus come in, kind of pour some wine for anybody who wants some, and puts down some plates with not really anything that has been cooked, but just things that they have that can be eaten on a shorter notice. Like he's cut up some vegetables and fruits, and has some bread and some other just lighter things that can be eaten more on a whim.
Well, I'm farm boy Fritz, food is food, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good food. Like the fruits here, you've had a few fruits being here, and they're
that's quality vegetables.
Yeah, they're really sweet and nice. So you just instantly start like plucking things, like yep, just shoving fruits and mouth and whatnot.
Hell yeah, man.
But he recaps that, and another maybe 10 minutes pass as he explains all that has been talked about and whatnot. Maybe not quite 10 minutes, a bit less. Very well. Perhaps we should continue the discussion. So, I would like to know more about what you've been up to and everything. I don't. Assuming that this is going to be my last night, I would like to enjoy myself a bit more and not just focus on the negatives.
Of course, but do forgive me, but I'm not really willing to give up on you just yet.
No, I understand that, and I do appreciate it. I just don't know exactly how to go about these things. I don't have any ideas myself.
Well, does anybody else have anything? I've already...
I think I have said mine.
You say flight?
Yes. But with messaging the Queen first.
I don't stand a chance, quite
Well,
frankly.
Have I heard of like the other 3 southern like kingdoms going to war with Osaria? Like, have we heard about that rumor?
Some of you have. I can't remember
think
who
I
I
have.
told what.
I think
know,
I have.
Like, I know that some of you know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
But
sure I know
it's-
which ones, to my knowledge, is in the war. I know. Yeah, actually, yeah, because I talked to, was it Barkeep and then some.
Well,
I talked to 2 people.
I can only say that, you know, it's pretty much up to you to remember what your character
Yeah, I don't
remember.
think Jaxson would know that though. So, in that case,
Multiple
so then I
countries.
don't have the idea I thought about.
Well, the thing that you do have to your advantage is the fact that a war has begun. Which, during a war, to track down somebody with all the confusion might not be the highest priority. But I still see your point.
Well, I do have one possibility for for fleeing, but it is very, very risky, and I don't know if it can be accomplished. But it's the same way that your coworkers usually solve our problems. Through Schreiber.
I don't know.
What would
The
this...
problem, I don't think, is really escaping. The problem is staying hidden.
Well, first of all, I doubt I would even make it out of the country before I would be dead.
Trust me,
However,
it could get you out.
what is this Schreiber? Or who, I suppose, would be more accurate?
Well, you could
Just
call
a
him
friend of
Polymorphed.
ours.
He knows magic, and perhaps if we could bargain enough, maybe we could find a way to make him help you in return for something else. He's quite the businessman, so he would probably take on an offer that would be, if it is beneficial enough.
Well, he didn't Schreiber say that he had been to the kingdoms east of the desert?
Maybe he has. I wouldn't be surprised. He has
I mean,
been-
that's somewhere they won't find you.
I mean, he has also been to other planes of existences, so there are multiple
But-
places.
I don't know if I would find a decent home anywhere in a different plane. The 3 empires, if that is what you are talking about, on the other side of the continent. I am certain that is far enough away to not be disturbed by Osaria. But running also means losing everything.
Yes, and that's the problem. So,
I don't know if I could...
you seem adamant that there's no way of speaking to the Queen.
Speaking, of course, but having her
Discussion.
listen is a different matter.
But you've already said that the amount of people with a seal is few. And it's even fewer the amount such as yourself that are only historians or...
That aren't excellence of the Arcanum, formerly at least. Yes, that is correct. Very small
So surely your word by itself would carry quite the weight.
Would mean nothing once I had broken the contract.
Yes, but let's disregard that for a moment. Normal circumstances, it would carry quite the weight, right?
I wouldn't say so. I'm not exactly an advisor. I'm simply a scholar that has been recognized enough to be granted research funding, so to speak.
So if it were another situation where, in fact, you suspected somebody were to steal them, and you were to go to the Queen and say, I suspect somebody is, I don't know, planning a heist upon the private library or a seal, and you were to say that you could recommend a group that you think would be able to apprehend or at least avert this culprit and its deeds, would the Queen be likely to listen?
Perhaps. I suppose it depends on how outlandish my suggestion is. The main issue with that would, of course, be that I doubt that it would work. I suspect that somebody would be suspicious if...
Yes, but I'm talking about normal situations. If that were to be, then surely would we not, if we plan our moves carefully, at least be able to try, and then, of course, the fallback is still what you have already resigned yourself to the inevitable of just dying, but giving them the information of...
I am not confident that I would have any serious sway on the Queen's opinion. As I said, I am mainly just a well-funded scholar. I am not necessarily an advisor or a counselor. She has other people to do that. Likely she would primarily rely on her own people, her mages, her soldiers. True, perhaps it would be slightly easier in circumstances like the current ones, as there is a war going on, and many of her mages, as I have already mentioned, are preoccupied at the front lines.
But what I'm getting at here is if we were to go to the Queen, it would be unlikely to even get an audience, let alone, once we would get an audience, that she would even hear our words, let alone listen to them.
That is true.
While you are likely to open up that door to at least hear our words.
Yes. That is true, and I am not saying that I wouldn't do that. If you are up to the task, I would definitely be willing to suggest it. I'm
just unwilling to resign myself to letting you die for this without at least trying to do something more good than just averting this specific occasion.
I understand that, and I am very honored that you care so much for me and for the sake of protecting knowledge and for the kingdom and all of that. I simply want you to temper your expectations.
Yes. I do not have much expectations, merely hope.
It is unlikely that any of these suggestions would truly work. But, of course, they are worth a try. I'm not going against that. Simply...
Other than that, I simply don't see a way that you would be willing to resign yourself to other than finding the culprit. Or am I wrong? If Storm were here, maybe he had a...
Yes, Storm should have gotten the message, right? Or, well, it's probably like, if he didn't get it, he shouldn't be here right now. But if he got it, he should be here.
I suppose I could check out and see if we can find him.
Okay, so are you gonna look through Florp?
Yes, but I'm gonna make this as embarrassing as possible for Storm. So, I'm going to do it like this. Florp is going to be in a raven form, and all the time he's flying, he's gonna scream, "Storm! Storm!"
Oh god.
Okay, so you conjure up Florp, and
And dead Florps in.
When do you start screaming?
ask him to turn into a raven. He does
okay.
because he's an imp, correct?
Yeah, he can shape change into that.
Yeah. So he makes himself appear as a raven and then sets out. Immediately as he leaves the house, he starts just yelling with this mix of like a fiendish voice because it is an imp. That it sounds like a fiendish little thing trying to impersonate a raven. And so Storm, you're hiding nearby, correct?
Yep.
You just see this black shape come flying out of one of the windows, and then you instantly hear this like Storm!
I'm shooting the raven the second I see it.
Yeah, I go.
Okay, go for it.
I find that reasonable.
It just starts like flying out, seemingly without any goal in mind. Just comes flying there, just Storm!
Surprised because I'm hidden.
Make a stealth check versus a perception check, because I assume that the raven is also looking for a storm.
Yeah.
Damn, bad rolls, but let's see.
You might make it. The imp doesn't have any.
21.
14.
Wow.
Yeah, okay,
Nice.
so
So that's
it's surprised.
perception.
What is the range on your crossbow?
It's a hand crossbow, right?
Yep,
No, it wasn't light. No.
hand.
So what is the range of that?
I don't know what's the range.
I don't think that's so long.
It is 30 feet without disadvantage and 120 with disadvantage. So technically, I think it would be more than 30 feet away.
So,
So it's a regular roll. Pretty much cancels out the advantage.
then I got an 11.
That is a miss.
Has to be just barely, right?
No, imp has 13 in armor class.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, it's still
Well.
pretty close.
Pretty.
Okay, so the bolt just goes flying past. And I'd say with that, Florp sees the bolt come flying past just like an inch or two from him. What is he gonna do?
He doesn't. Does he see where the bolt came from and who shot it?
Storm, are you gonna try to hide again?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so then make another stealth versus perception check, I suppose.
Yeah, good luck with that. 30 something.
Well, no. He sees the rough direction where it came from, but he doesn't see exactly.
It must be some random person that is shooting down ravens. Florp is gonna hide. That's what. Florp can turn invisible, so he's gonna turn invisible.
Okay,
And
is he
not
gonna
off-
continue to
off-
scream?
No.
No, okay. So, this...
But he's going to look for who shot the bolt closer and to see.
Okay,
if he
so, Storm, you see how this thing just vanishes in the middle of the air. What do you do?
Great. Nothing. I just stand and wait for the others to leave the house.
Didn't you tell Fritz that they should that he should come and just get you if you're needed?
Yeah, you're just
Why
going for
am
first.
I needed though? I am not needed. Okay, Storm goes up.
No,
No, I'm just wondering, like,
Let's
Technically,
see
you're
what
right.
happens, lads.
but like,
no, it's I'm not saying that you should. It's just like Storm doesn't know if he's needed technically.
no, like exactly.
The fucking bird screamed Storm. The fucking bird.
I mean, it's up to you how you want to interpret it. I'm not trying to change your mind here.
Storm waits 5 seconds, then he goes and knocks.
Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, you walk up to the door, you knock. Eventually, the elf who you have seen before because you were
Yep.
here and knocked on the door earlier that day. opens and you must be the last one.
Meanwhile, what is
Have the
happening?
storm at your service.
Yes.
Meanwhile, while he's opening the door, could I try and I don't know exactly the composition of how everybody's sitting, but could I somehow whisper to Jaxson with either walk to him or something like whisper without everybody hearing?
You can just use like celestial as well.
All right, yeah. Okay.
You would probably
I
be sitting
I forgot
on.
that for a second.
You would be sitting on different
would
sides of the table.
Yeah, but I
so-
realized. Yeah, I just forgot that as an option. Yeah, I would actually be way more logical for this. I speak Celestial. Do you have a way of telling Storm to not reveal that we are the ones who stole it?
I don't think he's stupid enough to do that.
But he might think we have told him.
Even before Storm just comes
might
in.
think we have
Here's
told
the
him.
master thief who stole your
He might
seal.
Jaxson,
I mean, he's probably gonna do it.
I wouldn't put it past him, and he might also think we've already told.
Well, just ask Dara to use her like telepathy thing and tell him.
Okay, so Storm.
Okay, I switched to undercommon while he's walking in. So like,
Yeah, so Storm, you would be entering the room at
saying
this
the same
point, and you see
Good
you see Benedict Blaze, sitting at the short end of the table, standing
Yep.
up and turning around to greet you. Arisa, what do you say to Dara in the meantime?
in the meantime, I more or less say the thing. Do you have a way of communicating to Storm, quickly and silently, to not reveal that we are the ones who stole it?
I give a telepathic duck back. Yeah.
And then she doesn't say anything to Storm. It's like, yeah, of course I can.
But I'm a gun.
It's like, oh, you wanted me to actually do it.
Alright.
I will telepathically
I
tell
thought it was
Storm.
odd of you.
Storm, don't reveal that we have stolen the seal.
Okay, so Storm, you come in,
I look at Dara.
you're like surprised to see Benedict Blaze, who's standing up now. Like, Storm, great to see you too.
And that was a while ago.
And then at the same time you hear this like, don't reveal that we stole this. Okay.
Oi, oi, oi.
It was a while ago indeed.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that you could all come though.
Yeah, fucking Raven came out screaming storm, so I guess I was invited here, huh?
Yes.
Lovely.
I was hoping that you could all make it. How much do you know about the situation?
What situation?
I think he's up to date with it.
Well, Storm doesn't seem to be. So he's just gonna do a short recap as well.
Yeah.
So you now know
Ignorance,
what
that is
has
good.
been discussed and what hasn't been. You're asked to also sit down. You see the food that has been placed on the table. It's, you know,
No.
Yeah. That's
it's like a bowl of
complicated.
grapes and stuff. Pretty good stuff.
That's complicated indeed. Well, I guess you're gonna have to take your life tomorrow, eh? Bad
No.
Well, I see there's a big difference in attitude in this group.
Well, to call us
Well, why
a
would you
group is
accept the
both
seal if
correct
you
and
can't-
incorrect.
Why would you accept the seal if you can't keep it?
It is a very correct assessment.
Yeah.
It is essentially an agreement that you make.
Why did you get?
Hmm?
Why did you get the seal?
Well, since I moved here, I have served by recording history for, I suppose it would be about 2 centuries at this point.
Jesus Christ.
that I have spent in servitude here, and for that I was granted the seal.
So they're just gonna straight up kill you when you've worked for them for centuries because you lost a little tiny seal.
Yes.
This world is fucking corrupt. Why are you here?
I wouldn't say that this is corruption. I would say that this is the price you pay for knowledge. And
Ever used the seal?
I used the seal daily,
What? Oh.
more or less, at least.
But Storm,
Wait, what's the time?
At this point, it would be closer to 11, I'd say.
Okay, so like half an hour
Yeah, 35 minutes maybe.
until we need to meet him. Okay.
Just a rough estimate. So you
And
have
how-
about...
wait,
long
I
time
can't
we-
remember. Didn't
It would probably
Jaxson-
be like a 10-minute walk if you
Okay.
just walk quickly, so you could make it there in relatively quickly.
yeah, because Jackson, you told Arisa, I mean, therefore, that the meeting was going on, right? Or was going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Dara knows that as well from when you talked
Dara
before.
and Arisa.
Dara and Arisa.
Yes.
The only ones who don't know is Storm and
Storm and
Fritz. At
Fritz.
this
Yes.
Well, Storm, I would prefer if we could keep Blaze alive, and I suggested a couple of quite outlandish ideas, but among the most ludicrous but still kind of valid, or I wouldn't even call it that, but ideas would be to try and convince the Queen to give us time to find the culprit, or by some miracle finding the amulet before sunrise.
Yeah, that would be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, an optimistic idea is still
Well,
an idea.
Yeah.
What a daunting task. Fritz, no, that's what Storm is like. Oh,
What about you, Fritz? You've been mostly quiet.
What, sorry?
What about you, Fritz? You've been mostly quiet.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know really what to do about this. It seems like you
Have
talked fairly in depth about this. I don't really.
Yeah.
I don't really
I'm
see any
just
way
desperate.
I could use my position either, really, to prove this.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much.
I mean, I could try, but there's no way with this amount of time, really, to get anything done.
This is, quite frankly speaking, my burden to bear. I wouldn't wish to drag any of you into any of this, nor...
When you go say this to the Queen, will it be public execution for the people to watch? Like, it will take some days before you're going to get executed, like hanged or something? Or will you get shot straight there at the castle?
Storm is like, so is this like Sunday Night Live, or...
This is a civilized society. They wouldn't simply stab me right then and there in the middle of the throne chamber.
Yeah.
I cannot say if I would be given a public execution or a private one.
Yeah.
Nor can I say for sure how long it would take. I don't think I will be executed tomorrow.
Great. So if someone would come and give them the seal that you've lost, you might be saved for...
I suppose that depends very much on whether or not something bad has happened.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And he still lost it, so that's still punished.
There is a chance that if it was returned before it was ever used in any unintended way, then I could see how you might be able to bargain for my freedom, or that I would do so, since I don't want to put any weight on you. But that is still a major if scenario.
A complicated matter.
Yes.
But I have a plan.
What's that then?
You do?
I cannot say it out loud here. I will inform you later when I've thought carefully on this plan.
So,
But it's fail-proof.
I have to tell you something in private, Storm.
Oh, you have to?
Yeah, so let's just walk to the other room and have a quick chat.
I still have some food here too.
Yeah, you can come back and eat.
Well, feel free to, if you wish to, you can simply grab your plate and go.
Let's go.
That's fine. You can head to the room over there.
Thank you very
There's
much.
a very fine couch
Right.
that you can sit on if you wish to discuss.
Yeah, what do you want, Jack, say?
We don't really have that much time. In about
For my plan, we have
half an hour, we have to give the seal to Fanon.
Wow.
Yes, he replied, and he's not very happy with what we did, so I don't think he
That's
would
how
be...
we work, though, so he's gotta be happy with it.
I just see Storm
if
sitting
we're
there
late-
eating grapes. I'm like, that's how we work, though. You know?
So if we want to do something, we have to do it now.
Do what?
You said
Okay,
you had a plan.
yeah, the plan. Okay,
Yeah,
you
so-
wanna hear my master plan.
Mhm.
Okay. Master plan. The plan is just to have Blaze alive, is it not?
Yes.
Because you
That's the
guys
plan.
like Blaze. I don't really care.
Hmm? He's like the only person that has been
One
nice to us.
coworker, 1,000 others to get. Okay, so listen here. We go in there. We knock Blaze and his servant out cold, so they don't know anything. Then we drag them away, and then they get hired at the Weather Eye. Perfect.
Okay, so you mean that you were
Weather.
and right,
No one will come out of the Weather Eye.
okay,
We're one of the fastest ships
and yes, like
on the Vortex Sea.
didn't your ship leave port like yesterday or something?
Yeah. But we just send out them with some other ship, pay them.
But that's not a
get
fast
them
ship.
to the Weather Eye. No. How would they know where Belly Blaze is when we're sending him away on the Vortex Sea? You can't track the sea.
you would keep him in your kingdom or your town.
No. You can't. I won't have my place already fucked over. The Weather Eye is my mother's pirate ship.
Right. I confuse it with your kingdom ship.
Yeah. Oh, Cackling Clarice. No, that's too risky. So how about that plan? Does it sound good? Heading with Blaze, becoming a pirate.
I think we have to talk with the others before we.
Historian can sit there on the pirate ship and write everything that happens, because that's the most.
He won't remember anything because like he's gonna get knocked out. Like he just wakes up on a boat.
Yep, and then he signed.
What is he supposed to write? He still loses everything he has, and that's one thing he doesn't want to do.
That's all you care about. And
we have told him other plans that would work, that would keep him alive, and he doesn't want that.
Tell me one, Jax. Tell me one.
We'll go to Shraber and teleport him. Teleport him somewhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. Then he would have to. Sure, you can teleport him wherever, but his will is that he wants to tell the.
Or we go against Kessler. That's another plan that we can't say in front of him because he doesn't know. But that's another plan that we
what?
That we go against Kessler that we don't give him the seal.
I want my recognition for doing all of this to store tag. I do not care that much for Mr. Blaze. He might be a good historian, but he's not.
Storm, I will just remind you, like,
give it back to
Storm, you'd probably remember that the two of you exchanged, like, seafarers' tales back in Riverport. Like, he talked about the story of Alacrin and all that stuff.
He's a good man.
So he knows pirate history as well.
Yeah, so now he's going to become a pirate.
So if you want to do something that's right for once, same for me here.
Okay.
We should at least do it to someone that has been nice to us. So if we are supposed to be nice one time or 2 times or something like that, we should do it to someone that has helped us and not just a random person. So we should help Benedict in, like, whatever it takes.
Why would we do that? Because he has no money to offer. Kessler has money to offer.
He doesn't need...
Blaze is just a co-worker that...
And I was talking about doing the right thing, and the right thing isn't what gets you the most money.
Well, that's just the end goal. You see, I just told you the plan of taking him as well.
You know this plan. Okay, we go against Kessler, and then we kill him, we take his stash, then you have all his gold.
Find Kessler's stash.
Yeah, you rob him. That's a good plan, right?
No, we just know there's an actor of it, so that does not work. You see, just send Blaze away, and
I think this. We need to have everyone in this conversation, and we need to have a decision before we have to leave the
walk out to them. Send me in another one. So me and Dara, Arisa, or Fritz, you choose, and I'll explain them. Can you play it as well and give me some more grapes?
No, I am not a fucking servant, Storm.
No, but you're my co-worker. And I'm making
I would do that to a friend, but not a co-worker.
Well, then I'll guess I have no more grapes.
Yeah, sorry. I still think that we should bring everyone, even that if that's suspicious, it's best to have everyone here at the same time.
No.
Why?
Because I can tell them each and one, so
and so we can twist the story for each one, so it gets your way.
No, I won't. Everyone.
But if we want to discuss the thing,
that is.
Yeah, but I will get everyone here. Okay.
No,
I will just make some excuse. You won't. Why won't you be here?
I will be with Blaze then, because I'm not a suspicious man. I am.
You're the most suspicious man out of all.
How?
Because you're the one that's the most.
I'm just seeing life another way, you know. If we sentenced to death, that's his fault.
No, it's our fault.
What? How?
If he dies, it's our fault because we are the ones stealing it.
Shitty protection. Yeah, it in a freaking lock.
Let us steal.
If he dies, he dies.
It is for.
So you
and then Arisa or freaking Fritz. Come on, chop. We don't have time. We have like.
I will go out. I will grab some grapes as well when I'm out. And I go back to the table, I guess, and I would probably just try to get everyone.
Okay, what do you say? Before that, does anyone want to say it or talk about anything specific while they are away?
Well, they are. Actually, I would like to.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, I would turn to Fritz and say, This is quite a mess, huh?
Yeah.
As I guess you don't have anything.
Like, that could help.
Or a plan or a suggestion. I don't know. I'll take anything at this point.
Well, could ask what the brigade could do, but I doubt anything could be done in time.
Yeah, no. I do agree.
But I don't know. I don't really have anything else that could raise the odds, so to speak.
If nothing else, I guess we should make these hours as memorable as possible. For you, Blaze.
Sounds like a good plan.
Let's
So what
make
do you wanna
the
hear?
memorable.
Well, actually, there is one thing that I would like to know before it is my time. You see, I was in Vendethal not long ago. I'm sure you know what happened there.
Indeed.
And I happened to hear some descriptions that seem to fit most of your group. I'm simply wondering, do you know what really happened? As a historian, I would like to document things with Isidore, the return of Lord Isidore of Vendethal and his downfall.
Sure.
We do know parts of it.
We were in fact at the center of the entire.
Yes, and that is what I have heard. I've also heard some other rumors about other individuals being involved. But one of the more common ones tells of the co-workers and their exploits.
Oh, I can't tell you how much I resent that name, as it has gotten me and my wife into more trouble than good.
I'm afraid that is often the case with names that are prescribed to you.
Yes.
But multiple versions of the tale? How come? I thought it was pretty clear cut that the co-workers did everything.
Well,
Details, I'm assuming.
there is primarily one other rumor. Some man named Silas, who spreads to the best of his abilities the rumor that he himself vanquished Isidore. Apparently he has roots in Vendethal, has grown up there, recently returned from an adventure up north and found his home city occupied, and so he couldn't resist the temptation to get involved, and he simply charged through the front gates of the palace, his bow in hand, and fired a single arrow that hit Isidore in the heart, instantly destroying him. I'm unsure on the validity of that claim.
Yeah, well,
Unless something really weird happened while I was got out, I don't think that happened at all.
Otherwise, as I mentioned, there is the version that involves you fighting. There is simply a more ambiguous one where people working for the outcasts did it. There is a version that simply says that the gods sent their servants to strike down the vile, evil lord. That
I guess that's not too far off.
That Vir himself
either.
protected his people.
Don't know about that.
There are many versions.
To begin, I guess we got to the city that had already been taken over, and we entered through the cloak of perpetual night.
Yes.
As you might have known, and we sought refuge in the catacombs, where indeed a group that goes by the name of the Outcasts were holding up and had been managing one of the few remaining free insurgents in the city. We then planned our next move and split up, all from trying to gather intelligence on what was really going on inside the castle and with Isidore, how to defeat him, and where other survivors might be holding up, and seeing if we can't muster the forces.
I'm just gonna say, if you don't want to recap everything,
I have one last part.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just
No,
making sure that you know that you don't
good.
have to like say everything. But I was gonna say that if there is anything in specific that you want to say, you can go ahead.
Then so every time I skip something, it's that just be fill. Then later on, we managed to finally find and gather enough information about Isidore, and we came up with a plan. It was bold, it was daring, but we had to do something. So all of us stormed to together with the Night Tide Brigade, a small scout faction, and head up by Fritz here himself. We stormed the castle under cloak, trying to sneak up to the throne room, where we found Isidore. It was a gruesome battle, but we survived it by the end. All except Dara here. She sadly perished. But by a pure miracle of the gods, she was, spared by divine justice and was brought back to us.
I feel like you're a bit over-exaggerating that one. It was destined.
You wouldn't happen to have any more details on this?
Well, it's kind of hard to explain, but how do you know of those blue smoky sapphires that come from Bluedale?
Yes, of course. I am a historian.
Arisa takes out of his pouch the actual shattered gem and lays it on the table.
May I? He kind of extends his hand.
Go ahead.
Picks up one of the shards.
Dara can continue. Just do this in silence while you were talking about the gem.
As a matter of fact, you can keep it if you would like.
No, I don't think there is any point to that.
He's dead tomorrow.
My life is over.
Fascinating. I never thought I would actually see one like this. Not this up close.
Well, as it turned out, Isidore was not dead, but merely retreated as predicted to his lair, where we followed him and finished the job.
Right.
After this, we simply gathered up our things, told everybody about the way out, and parted ways. And that's pretty much the end of the tale.
Would you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
When I submit myself to my destiny, don't let this tale go to waste.
Of course.
Someday, whether that be tomorrow or a year from now, find a historian like myself and have them do it justice. Too often
Why not do it yourself?
Well, I don't have the time.
Very well.
If
Go
I did,
on.
I would, but I don't want to rush this. I want it done properly, and that's why I simply implore you to find somebody who is willing to accurately retell this story, because too often has history gone to waste. too often has it not been recorded, and we have been left to scramble for the shards that remain to try to puzzle it together. This is
Very well.
important. The Bluedale Sapphire is proof of that. If there's one thing I have learned through my years as a historian, it is that you don't easily evade fate. And that is just more proof of it.
I will do my best.
That is all I can ask. I cannot ask for you to save me or make this right, but what I will ask is that you make sure that this tale is recorded. That is all I ask.
I guess this is what we were stating while they were gone.
Yeah,
so.
at that point, Jaxson, you come out.
If it weren't clear for you, my dear DM, also, of course the heist was left out.
Yeah, sure.
That's important, that the fact that was left out.
We don't want that into the book.
What are you talking about? Revisionist history? I don't know what you're talking about.
So, Jaxson, you're back in the dining hall.
I'm really sorry for the inconvenience here, but I have to grab everyone
Oh,
to,
no, don't.
to this
Sorry
talk.
about that.
We
I
will be shortly
understand. Yes, I understand that you have much to discuss, and I wouldn't want to step on your toes. This is an important matter for everyone, quite frankly. And if you need time to discuss for yourselves, go on ahead.
Quick question though. What happens to your estate and your belongings once you pass?
Oh, it will be returned to the crown.
Which crown though?
Well, the Osirian crown, naturally. It was
All of
granted
your
to
estate?
me. Well, yes, it was granted to me by Osiria, and so it will be returning to Osiria.
So you own nothing yourself?
Ownership is a difficult matter. Who owns
well.
anything? I own the rights to my work. That's about it. Nobody will erase my name from those books, but
Very well.
apart from that, I don't own much that cannot be taken back.
Alright. Shall we, Jaxson?
Yes. I guess we go to that room.
Did you take more grapes as well?
Yeah, I take a plate of grapes.
Okay. You just take your plate, slam some grapes on there, and then you head on over to the other room. Storm, you see Jaxson coming back, and then you see, like, Fritz, and then Dara, and then Arisa. Everyone.
I gave you one thing. Oh shit!
And I said I wouldn't do that.
Great.
But I got you these.
Ah, lovely.
It's a compromise.
No. Storm is like, I hate you. Oh, that's grapes. Nice. I love it.
Nah, he's co-working again, that's all.
Nice.
So, the thing here is that we have about 20 minutes or so to decide what we want to
and
do.
let me discuss my plan before that I recap. How do you think about that plan? It's wonderful, isn't it?
I mean,
Those are some very crispy grapes.
Yeah.
I mean, weirdly enough, it is somewhat plausible, but only
Thank
somewhat.
you, Dara, for your.
I
I mean,
would
it could work. It's just
I mean, honestly, it's not that bad.
No.
I'm gonna have to agree with that.
Apparently, Will has forgotten the plan, so you might want to make it
I
really
remember
the
some
pirate.
rough things about it, but I
Basically
don't
knock him
remember
out,
enough
send
for
him
it
to
to
the
be a
pirates.
good
Knock him out, make him
Blaze
pirates.
we knock a Blaze unconscious and his servant and send him to the Weather Eye so he can work there forever and become a historian, because the Weather Eye won't let him go, and no one will go after the Weather Eye.
He would be a slave, quite frankly, but a slave for
Not
my
a
mother.
Slave, but
Well,
how does it sound? We have 2 that likes it. I like it frankly as well, because
Just because
No,
it's
not
somewhat
really.
acceptable does not mean I like it.
I
I mean,
do
it works.
agree with the validity of the plan, but I do not find it to be a very desirable one.
well,
why not?
Well,
My best years was when I was a pirate. Okay,
Because
this year became a little bit better because
I'm not
Mhm.
sure he's fit for the
even
life
even
of
with the
pirate.
imprisonment and everything.
even the fact that you were a co-king.
Yeah. No, yeah, I said this year is probably
Yeah, this
better,
year.
but after that, pirating, like, whoa, the shit. Maybe because my
Mhm.
older-
Really? Because
Well-
I heard you complain a lot about this year. Being in the Abyss, being in the Blue Dale
Ooh,
Mines.
that was horrible.
Yeah, especially the Abyss. That was horrible
I'm
for
never
you.
Yeah, but
returning to
let's
that.
get back to business.
I
Right.
have another
Now-
idea, which Storm really doesn't like,
No,
but I think it's the right thing to do.
what?
Give
I
back.
told you before, and
Yeah, I know
I'm
what
gonna
you're talking
keep.
about, but these
I'm gonna keep with. I want this plan to work. We just give it the seal back because
Yeah.
we should make sure that he's alive and that he's happy, because we can't just send him off with the pirates.
He's
I
going
mean,
to be happy.
we could do.
You don't know
it.
how much history there is on the seas. He will know everything.
But he didn't
But
even want to
there are other
lose.
ways, Ace. Plus, I'm still not sure it's a wise idea to help Kessler. But either way, we owe it to Blaze.
Yes, and I mean, if we are going to do the right thing, we should do it to someone that has helped us.
Unfortunately, if we do not help Kessler, we will have the problem that he will try to try using extortion. That display of his was to make sure that he knew that he would show us that he knew important details about ourselves that could potentially be used as leverage against us.
I never
Well-
received any information that he could use against me.
The thing here is that we have
Same here.
to give the seal to him really soon, or if we don't do that, we will be.
We
like-
won't.
If we return the seal, we have to deal with Kessler, and then we have the option of either playing in fool and saying we've lost the seal in some capacity, and request a greater amount of time to receive a new one.
Well, we don't need to use his seal. We can get our seal ourselves from if we were to be nice enough to Queen Alicia. Theoretically.
Exactly.
Probably
Or,
the most
or
problematic party ever.
Or we could beat up another mage and take theirs. But
that's true.
Can we
Which-
just go the simple route? You guys jump around some fucking frogs. Say first second you want to steal a seal, I do it in a second, and then
Yes.
next second you don't want to do shit. We have to save Mrs. Arisa's fucking
Okay.
homeland. You get the freaking
Sure.
magic item, you ego, and you get the keep. Can we just go with the plan and save Blaze on a fucking rude way? But that's still like he's still alive.
What about this? Let's make it simple and split it up into a vote. All who thinks we should return the seal now, and then either find another way, or whatever we do next is
the big problem is
whatever we do next.
how,
But
if we were to give back the seal, how can we do it without saying, "Oh look, we stole the seal, but here you go."
Well, we will see that we have the wrong seal. We just have to.
I think you mean to Blaze.
You mean to Blaze or to Fauna? Dara?
Well, specifically both. We will have to find a way to give the seal back to Blaze without having to tell him that we stole it from
Just
him.
put it on his pillow or something.
Are you guys serious?
I feel like he would have
Are you
noticed.
guys fucking
But wait,
on
did you
drugs?
tell him that it was stolen? Or did you tell him that someone was planning on stealing it?
I said someone
He
back
knows
up-
that it's stolen.
He looked into his safe that it wasn't there.
Mhm.
Sure.
But
Stolen.
what about this? If we can place it somewhere relatively plausible, still in his study,
Or in his bed.
or sure in his bed or whatever,
Because he's gonna
then
sleep.
and when we go investigate to see if we can't find clues to the culprit, we find it.
Just out of character. This would be so horrible if he doesn't actually notice that scene when we put it in. It would be so fucking
Oh
horrible.
god.
You put it in the wrong bedroom. It's like the guest bedroom, and you just go drop it in the bed there.
Yeah.
But we can also find it as
Aw.
well. But otherwise, we could pretend. I don't know. But I think we should make a vote. Should we try and should we do, in my opinion, the right thing and return the seal in some capacity to him, or shall we not? I vote that we return it.
I do as well.
No,
I do as well.
Or you guys, fuck it. I have the seal.
Yeah.
Try to. I'll run away. I'm not giving you back no seal. I stole the seal. It's my seal.
Well, take your.
So like this. Why, you guys? Holy fucking shit! We have the seal. We have the key to saving your homeland. And
No.
You want to freaking give
Do me
back
my
the
homeland.
seal to a guy we've met 2 days and then we went to Strongwick. Sure, he might be one of your guys' friend. Oh, so lovely. Oh, friendship. But like, what? And then you just lied to him about everything. Showed the most fake empathy ever, and then you're just gonna we found your seal in this room. Here you go. If he
I don't
sees
know.
through that,
Some way.
he won't trust you ever again, and he won't be your friend. So
But
then
that
you
doesn't
fuck your
matter.
friendship, and
That's
you fuck
worth
your
it.
chances.
Our
That is
friendship isn't the thing that we want from this. We want him to live happily, to not lose
He
everything.
will live happily
Yeah.
on the seas.
No, he will lose everything.
And that's
He
one
has
of the
nothing.
reasons.
He has nothing.
We owe him that.
Owe him what? For what?
We owe him to not ruin his life.
He did.
He
let
can
us
return.
in. He did let us
He's
in.
a
but
fucking
no,
Because
hell.
as soon as he returns, he's dead.
No.
I will say, Jaxson, you're trying to keep track of time. You probably have like another 5 minutes before you should leave if you want to be there on time. If that is what you're planning on doing.
And you
Okay.
want to, okay, what seal do you want to find next? Please tell me. Tell me about.
We have yet
what's
to
your
discuss-
plan? This plan is to.
We have yet to discuss what to do afterwards. If we to find a seal or do something else. I don't know. But either way, we are 4 against 1.
Or
Yeah,
did
but-
Fritz vote for?
Yeah,
Okay.
I voted for returning it.
Mm-hmm.
Please, Storm.
So
Just
Storm, are you
this
gonna
one.
honor the vote?
You guys are absolutely fucking insane. What the
That's
fuck am I in?
accurate.
What is this party?
We're all insane.
What
Storm.
the fuck?
I think you would have
Don't fucking
noticed
touch
that
me,
we are.
Dara.
I don't.
You're giving. We can save him. However else, we have until the morning to give back the seal. No one will know it was his seal that was the
But
one.
no,
that fucked everything up.
We have no guarantees on it returning, but he said he needed it for 24 hours.
Yes, so we can't
Minimum.
return it in the morning.
So even if on the unlikely chance that we actually get the seal back, if that's the case, then we at least need to store them for 24 hours, which he will not allow. Sure,
Barnabas-
we can force it. We can force that, but he will still, after that report...
I don't understand your shit at all. It's like, okay, nice, great. Say we get another seal, then you're fucking dooming someone else. It's the same thing.
I am not necessarily voting for getting another seal. We have yet
Same
to
for me.
discuss
What you're
that.
voting for then? Because
I don't know.
going against Kessler is suicide. I'm not going against
Jaxson,
Kessler.
when was the meeting now again?
It's in. We need to leave like 3 minutes or so.
Oh, okay.
If you want to be there in time.
I mean, if Dara, for instance, were to cast Fly or something, you could get there faster, but...
I haven't really said like where though.
Yeah, but
I just said that we need to
No,
meet him.
but basically, in some method of either using flight or Fritz, I'm assuming you probably can speed it up. Or something, I don't
Fritz
know.
is long traveling. It's
It's long travel.
that's
Okay,
like
so it's
because
more.
it's a nature-based thing. So I'd say
Yeah.
that's more when you're
Yeah, fair
traveling in
enough.
the wilderness and stuff. Not
Yeah,
so
or
you're
for
done
long-
after giving back this freaking seal then, eh? You want to doom someone else, or do you want to fight in the arena and earn one yourself, and then doom
Personally,
yourself?
I would rather fight in the arena, earning one myself, or simply
To doom yourself.
No, not necessarily.
Will you do that?
But that would buy us time, or simply resisting against Kessler. It's not optimal. Oh, to tell the truth, Kessler makes me fear to my very bone marrow. But that also makes me think we should not just let him push us around.
I just want to do the right thing for once.
Yeah, that's important. I agree, actually, Jaxson, that the important thing is doing the right thing.
Which I don't really do
Yeah.
a lot.
Right thing, yeah.
this is part. This is Benedict.
This is the
Way.
right thing for your homeland, Arisa. How is this the wrong thing? This is one dude still. We won't. There's no guarantee we can find another seal. You think I'm hyped on freaking risking my life again to steal another seal? Oh yeah, hell yeah, I am. Freaking.
You didn't really risk your life to steal this seal.
Yeah, I fucking did. If someone noticed me, oh, I'm dead. You know.
You got a point, but to explain, the deal I made with Kessler does not save my homeland. Quite contrary, it just pushes back the inevitable, which becomes inevitable as long as I help him. If I resist, I have
You still don't know
a chance.
what Kessler's full plan is, so I don't know what you're talking about at all.
But it can't be good based on what he seems to want.
We should
And
probably.
it can't.
We will be
See, the
late
thing
by
you
now.
want from my homeland is not something to be trifled with. It is something very sinister indeed. But we need to do something now.
His plan is bad because my brother could work for bad people, but not for horrible people. And this is a person that he refused to work for once he noticed what he was up to.
Let's check what Farman wants first, eh? We have
What do you
until the
mean?
morning.
What do you mean? Foreman is expecting.
He's expecting us to give the seal to him.
Yes.
Regardless, we
we
need
can
to
still
meet
speak with
Fauna.
him.
Yes, but I would rather not have the seal with us, else if we speak to him and
If
not
we
intend
speak to
give it.
him, we will let him know either that we won't give it to him,
Yep,
or that
We don't have it.
we don't have it.
but that's the risk you want to take, right?
But the thing
Rather
here is,
that than letting Blaze die.
He won't die if we send him off to seas.
His
but
life.
then we
Blaze as he
still
is
ruin
right
his
now will die.
life, and that's not the good thing to do.
It's not a good thing to steal a seal from someone other person to kill him instead.
Well, I haven't said that we are going to do that.
Well, then what do you want to do?
I'm not even sure if I'm up
Can
to
we-
getting another seal.
Okay,
Well, then what
let's
are we
make this
supposed to
vote
do?
then. Let's make this vote then. As we've voted and already decided that Kessler, that we don't give away, that we return the seal. Should we? Do you guys think that we should obtain in some other way of entering the private wing? Probably by gaining either gaining yourself or stealing another amulet or whatever, and then or do you think we should break the contract with Kessler? I vote for breaking it, in fact.
I'm
I
voting
don't
for
think
breaking it.
that's-
So
I don't think that is a good idea, actually. I
Okay,
agree with Storm that breaking the contract is
So-
very foolish.
Storm, what do you
It's
say?
like the stupidest thing ever because you're
Okay.
just fucking yourself over.
So if my tally is correct,
don't
three
see what
people
else
state
I want to do.
3 people state we should break it. Two
Well,
for
okay, say we break it. Say we break it.
Yes.
What do you do now?
we'll probably go to Arisa's homeland to defend it. That's one
When
thing
we
we can
had a
do.
freebie to just save it without
No.
just giving the seal.
no, quite the opposite. It's
Her homeland isn't
You just
safe.
need to go
either
there
way.
and find an item, and then they were fine.
I actually think Jaxson might be right. It's either that or go to your land. We need to find safe territory because if we break the contract, Kessler is likely to come after us personally. So be somewhere where we know the terrain and know it's safe. To my knowledge, that is 2 locations. That is my homeland or your nation, I presume, as you're the ruler.
I still don't see your motivations to just turn on Kessler when you've all.
I never wanted to join him either. I expressly pointed that out. I was strong-armed into it.
Why did you join then?
Because I was strong-armed into it. Forced.
Okay. So, nice.
So,
Well, okay. So if we end this, we just walk to and just prepare ourselves for someone to attack us.
no, we once we do that, we find out, we prepare ourselves for an eventual counterattack while planning for our next move. Because if we break this, I suggest our likely move is actually figuring out his next plan and averting that. And eventually finding out who this Kessler individual really is.
But still, what's the motivation? We don't. Why would we be bothered? What he does
Motivation, I
except
think,
for
is
your
quite
homeland?
individual. Mine is clear. That is my homeland, and I think is just.
I can fucking go to Draxonia. They be chilling back there. No Kessler will touch Draxonia.
Jackson, you mentioned your brother.
Yes.
So I assume that has to do with your motivation for opposing Kessler.
Well,
Fritz, you're military, but I don't know. I just know what I feel, and
If he
that's where
finds
I've laid my
information
vote.
about Kessler, he can go back to the brigade. But why? Yeah. That's all I know.
The
Anyone
reason
have
about
any
entering
final
contract
words?
was to buy time.
But you wouldn't find out much about Kessler leaving Kessler, because how the fuck should we track Kessler?
We have ways of tracking people.
Well, we
Well,
know.
we don't even
You
know who
tracked
he is.
to- Yeah, you don't know. You tracked to actor. Great.
No, I never tracked the actor. I tracked the sign. I tracked the sign I got from my deity which led me to the theater, which happened to have the actor. So we have that. Second, we have Foreman. Foreman is quite connected. We can track him. We can track the ripple effects of his list. We know his targets. We could pick a target and find out. We know his men. It's something. I doubt, like, sure, we would get information by staying with him, but I doubt we would gain much more. By staying with him, we're guaranteeing that, more or less guaranteeing that we'll always be at least one step behind.
Absolutely. You can, if you guys like that, you're going directly against my motivations, so I will probably just keep on working with Kessler, and you guys can try to stop him or do whatever, because I don't see no motivation behind this. Like, stop, you freaking boy, we don't know what you're up to, but
We know
we
it's
want to
bad.
stop you. How do
Fair
we know
point.
that?
Well, I know that my brother wouldn't work for someone. He would probably work for anyone except someone that would be.
But I don't know your brother, do I?
Yeah, but I know him, and that's my
You know
motivation.
him. Indeed.
Okay,
Yes.
is there anything we could do to convince you?
No, there's nothing he would.
Probably not, because
But
just
the only way we would be able to
I would
convince you
nothing
is
to
that we
accomplish.
can legitimate your country.
sure.
Yeah, that's your motivation behind it, because you want your country or your kingdom.
We have
Well,
connections.
I want benefits
No, we
from
don't have
doing
that.
what I do. I don't just want to try to stop someone for not doing anything. I don't gain anything from that, do I?
Well,
Fritz
regardless,
does.
you want material goods or something that gives.
I'm sure, or by I'm sure by preventing the theft of these items and his plans, I'm sure the owners would probably be willing to compensate you in some manner. We can always take up odd jobs on the way.
That's nothing against what Kessler has. And I don't see...
Okay, let's say it like this, Storm. Kessler is lying. Does that make it better?
But he is not.
Well,
He
since
lied
it
about who he was.
Since it wasn't the actual Kessler who made the deals, one could consider that he did not make the original contract at all.
That is
Do
actually
you
true
see
as
anyone
well.
writing stuff down?
Anyway,
That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, everything.
We all
is-
negotiated our
mistake,
deals.
whatever. Oh, and then you're just gonna stop a random man that just trying to pursue his dreams, eh? Fucking
Not a random man.
we, like, it's so. We have tried to kill the king, and now we're just gonna go against a random fool that's just trying to do some evil stuff. There's evil
Yes,
people everywhere.
evil.
I'm a goddamn son of the captain of the Weather Eye. Do you know what that means?
that you're an evil son of a bitch?
I thought I knew.
my brother is.
I thought you lived by some sort of code.
No, I don't live. I'm not on the sea. Every ship has a code. The only code I have is to don't trust anyone.
And you trust Kessler.
Right?
Because you think that he will end up his end of the deal every time.
He's making, you see, the seal, for example. He's showed me that we can get the seal. Great. He told us he could give us back the seal after 24 hours, yeah?
No, he did not.
And
He said
He
he
said he needed it for 24 hours.
yeah,
And I specifically asked about whether or not he would give us back, and he
and
said
tell him,
maybe.
okay, you should give it back then. He will probably give it back. I don't see why he wouldn't when he's stolen everything inside that thing. Then I can sell this seal for how much? Did you hear what the outcast leader said? You see, boom, all benefit.
Who would want to buy it?
Everyone.
Well, there's
As soon
always a
as it
buyer.
gets discovered, it's useless.
It's not useless.
No, you're actually right. It's worse than that. It is a death mark.
If they catch you with it and you're not its intended owner, that's a death sentence.
I mean, essentially, the thing is, like, as long as nobody ever notices that the thing is missing in the first place, then you can use it until there's, like, a reset on the lock, pretty much. So, like,
Unfortunately.
if you were able to steal it and nobody noticed it, then it would be valuable, like, then it would be worth a lot, probably, because then it would actually function. But the moment they reset the lock and the thing is not reattuned, then it would just be like anything else, really.
Like this. I just want to see if Kessler is lying or not, and if he is, and just backstabs us. Then sure, absolutely, I'll fucking fuck his plans
But then the damage is done.
He hasn't.
He's already fucked your plans up once with the king.
Okay, but
With the king,
we
he
had
snitched on
a
you.
near unanimous vote, at least, on not giving away this seal.
Yes.
We had a majority vote on breaking the deal with Kessler, but at least as we had a near majority or near unanimous on the with this seal, can we at least agree on going and meeting Foreman without the seal?
At this point, you're gonna be really late.
Yeah.
Foreman will be really, really mad.
Like, you were supposed to be there like 5-10 minutes ago at this
He's
point.
gonna
So.
freaking beat us up to get the seal. He can't do shit.
Well, we already technically have a vote also on that, which means we technically don't even need to meet him. But I don't know. It feels like we're spinning around in circles.
Anyway, we're running out of time. We need to make a quick decision right now.
About what?
Well,
That's the thing.
we need to go to Foreman. We need
Yeah.
to talk with him, probably. Do we take the seal or not with us?
No,
But why wouldn't
taking the seal risks losing the seal.
But we're not. I'm Captain Storm. Have you ever seen me fail escaping?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Well, please report for
How else
starters.
would you explain Bluedale Mine?
Report. I didn't. I was. They just told me to. They want
You
to
have.
speak with Clarice, and I said sure. That sounds like a good idea. I could have come from the process, and I would have survived.
And also, I still remember Mr. Pig Butcher that almost killed you twice.
Yeah, but I escaped. Excuse me.
Well, that's
With the help of me and Taz.
So freaking guards as well. So let's go now and see what they want.
First, hand over the seal.
No, I will not. They will not steal no seal from me.
But we're not leaving this house without returning the seal, or at least leaving it in the house. I
Because
am
if
not
something happens
letting
to-
in that seal go near Foreman or Kessler.
Well, we have already made a choice that we don't.
Then. Why would you
Yeah.
even speak with Foreman then if you're just gonna give the
I am
seal?
fine with not speaking with Foreman.
Same here.
Hey, great. Fucking here, have your fucking seal. I'm out. Coworkers, have a lovely fucking adventure without me. I'll be at the arena, the 2 fights, and then I'm peacing out with freaking
Storm, wait.
Please.
If you, why can't we?
Well,
I
apparently
don't
Storm
know.
just left.
Yeah.
No, I not. I am listening, huh?
I don't know. What could we do? Maybe we can help you found your nation to be recognized.
How will you do that? When you're just trying to stop some random fool?
We're all from different nations.
No, me and.
Well, we all have.
Say.
Yes, but Fritz has some pull, or at least used to have some pull.
Never gain
Or
anything
recognition, to be more
Romero.
precise.
No, definitely not. You will absolutely not get anything
So there
from
we have
that.
two persons gone, and then Arisa. Oh yeah, how you were acting? I don't think so because everyone is probably good and praise to God, and I'm a freaking pirate. Who would want from that land to know me?
You have clearly shown own skills in combat. So why not? There's a war going on. If you could muster up a mercenary army, why wouldn't people potentially hire you?
But I'm not no one to hire. Why would someone want to hire me for a freaking kid? Like,
Why would somebody want to work for a king? I don't know.
Oh no, I did not say
Fame,
that.
fortune, duty.
Sure, but I don't see what like. Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do get that, but I do not see. I don't want us to leave on bad terms. I just
The
don't
only. Mm-hmm.
see what
so
I can
we
do.
are because like still you have no motivation to stop this Kessler guy, and you have no
We
information
all have.
at all. You have like, oh great, he had an actor that freaking acted out. He was someone else. Whoa!
He
we
attacked
got
my home.
informations.
He attacked my home, going after my land's ancient secrets.
Yup.
As well.
Yup.
I don't know. You've never mentioned really your brother, but I'm assuming based on that fact, you just said you don't know where he is.
His brother just didn't want to work for Kessler. How is that anything freaking?
I
that
suspect
makes it
there's more
so
to that.
bad?
Well, my brother is a horrible person.
What I've heard, your family's full of necromancers. Oh damn! Let's trust necromancers. Huh?
But still,
What's wrong with
Jaxson has
necromancers?
his reasons. We
Exactly.
at least two of us have mentioned our reasons.
Yeah, Dara, what about you, huh? What's your reason? Because you
I-
followed your
Dara
love.
voted with you, by the way.
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
Dara.
On the keeping the seal here, that was only you who voted against. But to betraying Kessler, was
That-
you and Dara were the only ones who voted. We were 3-2.
What's your motivation, Dara?
for wanting to stop Kessler or for not wanting to break the contract with Kessler.
Whatever you freaking like.
Well, I for one would not like to see Arisa's homeland be destroyed by him or attacked, but I'm also a bit concerned about the amount of influence he has. It is a bit terrifying in nature.
Okay.
Fine for what?
And it also the reason why I don't want to cross him at the moment, because that would give him the
Mhm.
reason to want to see us as a threat at the moment, instead of as a nuisance as he sees us right now.
Okay, let's say like this. Okay, if we go with him, oh nice, we save freaking Arisa's home place. We gain all this extra stuff. Freaking sure, he might be evil, but what evil will he do? Freaking Jaxson just threw a fucking knife into some random dude's foot yesterday, almost killing him. What's your
Well, I say
And it says quite a lot when even a man such as Jaxson and his entire family recognizes that this man is pure evil and nothing good.
But how
Even a woman such as Dara, who's made a contract with the devil, acknowledges the fact that this man is pure evil.
Well,
Could that not tell you something?
I wouldn't call the exhibitor the devil.
He's nothing.
Okay, what about this? We do these contracts with him, this once. We gain this stuff and then we don't work for him again. So you get your country's recognition. And
where will we get the seal from? Because we're returning.
we can try the arena, we can try other
Avenues.
There are multiple seals. We can't steal it from someone else if that would absolutely be necessary. We don't want to take it from Benedict Blaze. That's all.
If we would have taken it from any other person, well, there's probably like some people that I don't want to.
That's the egotistical mindset you guys have. Just because we met frickin' Blaze once or twice, you want to save him, but not some
Yes.
other frickin' mage.
Yes,
like
we're really evil, but we don't want to sacrifice Benedict Blaze. Is that
The simple answer here is at least it used to be a majority of us didn't even want to go for another seal, but if we have to, we will find another way.
You're returning the seal to him, you're telling him that I stole it.
Not necessarily.
Yes, you are. Why would you lie to a friend?
Why would I lie to a friend?
For the
Yep.
greater good.
To stop him from
It's
dying.
not greater good. Why
Stop
would
him
he
from
die?
dying.
Why would he die if you... What? I just
Because he
said
would
you
tell.
return the seal, then you tell. Why would he tell anyone that we stole the seal and returned it?
Because that still means he will return the seal as is. But
It's like,
Well,
no,
I
my
just don't know
right
anymore.
friend, and then like, what the fuck? It's like so fucking weirdly.
So
You keep claiming that we do not have any motivation and for going against him. Yet 3 of us clearly have.
Yes, absolutely, because he's evil, but I'm an evil man as well,
No.
and good. We stole from the Venderthal vault over 1 million gold
You did.
2 months ago. You also stole, didn't you?
No.
we did.
I claimed my reward.
Did. Yeah, exactly.
It's
you did.
technically stealing.
No.
Yeah, it's stealing. No shit, it's
Technically.
stealing. Why? How it's not stealing?
It
it's
is
stealing.
It's as
They
much
would
stealing
never
as
give
the
us
storm
that
has ever.
gold.
All of storm.
Very well. If you want to label it as that, but either way, I do not consider stealing an act of pure evil. It is a wrong thing to
But it
do,
was evil.
but it's not evil.
Anyway, we need to go to Farman right now.
It's too late by now. He has probably left.
It's like 20 minutes since you were supposed to be there.
Like, we will be there in like 10 minutes.
Well,
I
thought
don't think
we-
he will wait.
I thought we were in agreement with the votes, but I don't know anymore.
I just think that we should. Well, one of the votes is unanimous, so that one we know. what we
near
will do.
unanimous, or the
Yes.
other one has a majority.
I just think that we should keep everyone's interest somewhat in here. So I think we should keep this one contract. Just not this seal.
Such waste of time, but sure.
I agree, it's a waste of time to.
So who's telling Blaze that we stole the seal, eh? Am I?
I suggest no one does it.
What will he do otherwise?
We can either plant it and make it look like it was never stolen and to begin with.
But he knows it was stolen.
Or we can try and come up with some ruse about figuring out a way of tracking the culprit.
I say that we go out, pretend to have found it in some place, go back, give it back to him, and
Is there a
tell him.
window in this room?
Yeah, sure.
Can I?
Please don't.
How far down is it?
Oh, you're on the first floor.
Okay, nice. Here you go. Good luck with your acting skills. I'm going to check if Foreman is still there. Someone can join me if they like.
But
Captain
I grabbed the.
I do want to go to Farman as well, but
You can join him.
I will. Fly.
If anybody else wants to.
Wait, someone else wants to come?
I think I will stay.
Okay,
Fritz.
I'll stay.
alright. I will fly and follow Storm. Or follow.
Okay.
Oh wait, do I know where it is?
Nope, I haven't. I just said the time to everyone.
Have you told where is it?
Oh, it's outside the palace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll try to
No
find
one asked me, so like,
I'll
my
find
character
Storm
probably
and
just
tell
forgot.
him that we're supposed to be there.
Yeah, do that.
I think
that
Arisa
you-
knows, because Cause
Yeah,
that's-
Arisa
Yeah,
knows.
you
I said
maybe
palace.
told me when we
I think
met,
so.
but I don't know
Yeah.
specifically.
Mhm.
Storm be like, I'm gonna do it. Wait, where am I supposed to go?
Where am I going?
Yeah, it's actually quite likely that you go.
Mhm.
But Fritz, you stayed, right?
Yeah.
So Dara and Storm will take off. Did you cast Fly on Storm as well?
If he didn't jump, if he jumped out of the window before, then unfortunately I can't. But if he did, if he stayed, I could have done that. Okay, then I would have cast fly.
Mhm.
No, you can't. I said because I left.
Okay, yeah, no fly for you, unfortunately.
Okay. That was. Yeah.
I think this is a good place to take a break.
Lovely,
Yeah.
nice. I have a fucking headache. I'm out.
We'll probably have to try to keep this pretty short because this is a very late session and whatnot.
I
so.
think I already know how to do
Mhm.
the rest of our part, so.
Well,
God, I'm so happy I didn't have to use my phantasmal force to make him think that the steel wasn't stolen at all. God, thank God I didn't have to do that one.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we'll go to a break now anyway, so see you soon.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
And we are back from the break. So welcome back to the chaos. Yeah, that's right. It's really chaotic over here. So I hope you enjoy it. If you want proper like order and stuff, then oh man, are you in for a ride? Because this ain't it.
Not the
You love
place.
order here.
Maybe it's gonna be the most orderly thing ever now. Oh, after.
We're all lawful good here.
So we're
Sure.
gonna pay our taxes now.
So, my dear chaotic friends, Storm and Dara just left through a window, making their way to a place that they didn't even know where they were headed until after they had already started leaving. The rest of you are still at this dinner with a man who invited you, who two of your friends just climbed out of a window to escape from. So we'll start with the three of you. You're still in this isolated room, you know.
Side room, yeah.
So, what do we do with the siege? Or
The only ideas I personally have is either we somehow come up with a ruse of figuring out a way of tracking down the, in quotes, culprit and getting it back, or of course we can reveal it, but yeah. But or we actually do a ruse where we see if we can't, while trying to investigate clues for whoever stole it, we pretend to find it in his study, like he might have misplaced it in his study, or somewhere along the grounds, like the thief might have dropped it. Like, I do know how locate object, and we could just, if we hide it and then find it, it's not great, but
the problem is that I don't think he will be that easily fooled.
well, with the help of magic, maybe. Or Fritz, you got anything?
I mean, we didn't know it was Benninger, right? We did take it. Well, Storm took it.
What is that?
So I mean, or was it there? I mean, who? Mr. DM. How collaborate was like the stealing of the time.
Seal?
Yeah.
You mean who was in
Well,
on
I
it?
mean, like,
Well, it was essentially Dara managed to just get the door to be open and talk to Cephalus. Meanwhile, Jaxson and Storm snuck in invisible and just took it and left.
right. And
Like
I mean,
they cracked the safe open and
yeah. And I mean, we didn't know it was Benninger.
no.
You knew everything. What?
But
Well, I
but
mean-
also wasn't it the fact that he only has checked the safe where he normally has it and didn't find it? Like, we haven't told him specifically that it was stolen. It's more that it was going to get stolen, right?
Well, he said he uses it daily. So he probably knows where it's probably like a routine or something. So
Yeah, sure, but
so
maybe
he wouldn't like put it in the wrong place.
but it happens. Or maybe if the thief came, maybe we can set up a scene or make it look like they. Oh, I know. What if we can make it seem like it in fact was always there, but invisible? And if the plot, we were mistaken that the plot was not to steal it, but in fact make cause him to be executed. No, that's too far-fetched.
I'm not a good liar, so I shouldn't be the one that, like, if we're gonna lie, I should be the one doing it.
The single most charismatic person in the group just left.
Well, I know how to spin a story when I need to. People seem to have a knack of trusting me.
Well, I mean,
I'm talking
you have
upstanding
talked to him.
citizens.
Everyone in the sound.
Not the most extravagant individuals, but I'm talking normal people.
Uh-huh.
I mean, in this certain situation, I guess you have spoken the most with him, so I assume.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but we gotta figure out what story then. Like, as stated, I think we might maybe be able to hide it in his office, or maybe track it down in the around the grounds. Jaxson, you were in his office, right?
Yes, I was in his office.
Did he have like, was it messy there, or like with papers and stuff? Maybe could have left it under a piece of paper.
Was it messy?
No, it didn't really look like it.
No, not really messy.
Not to the extent where you'd think that he would misplace the thing under a bunch of papers and stuff.
No.
Like he's a relatively organized individual as far as you can tell.
Does it have a window?
The study?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm trying to think about the layout again. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Alright.
Don't think so. Okay.
Well,
I mean, I think we could tell the truth about the situation, but, you know, that we did steal it, but that we didn't know it was him. I mean, we could always kind of twist it, you know. We didn't know that was an execution, and it just felt really bad.
Yeah, we can.
Which we do.
I think that's a nice plan. Just that
I mean,
we just
were
don't.
really just tasked with getting in.
Mm-hmm. We didn't know that people died from losing it, you know.
okay, so
We didn't really know what value.
So we tell.
So we tell him
Sort
that we
of the
stole
truth.
it. We tell him that the group put in an effort to steal it, as we were hired by this individual. But the more we found out about the whole situation with the penalties and stuff, and we say we weren't aware of the consequences, and then we started finding out more about this Kester individual. Is that it, or full come clean and just?
It's just as long as we say that we didn't know that someone was going to die. I think.
Well, we certainly didn't know it was him. That's fair
Mhm.
enough to say.
Okay, so
And
we
also, you know, like, Kessler kind of ties you down, you know, you don't really have a choice. So I guess we can put that to our advantage.
I think he will just be happy that he's going to have a normal life again.
so
That his
we-
life
I
is
mean, well,
back.
we've decided to, you know, go against Kessler.
yeah.
Well,
That's not like
he
a just
convinced
everyday
us.
thing.
mhm.
I feel like, you know, that might be
All right.
somewhat redeeming.
Shall we? Who shall do the talking?
Oh,
Or
I'm not a
shall we?
talker.
Well,
so-
if he will probably see that there's something more to it if I talk.
Okay, I guess that's me then. Shall we?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, so in the meantime, Storm and Dara,
Yes.
are you pretty much like racing to get there first, like, or Dara, because you obviously have the advantage? Are you gonna just kind of make
I
sure
mean-
that you stay above Storm, or?
I mean, I don't want to lose track of Storm, but I would like to get there to the designated place as soon as possible because we're late. Very late.
But are you
Hopefully-
just gonna go full speed? Because you kind of have to choose. Either you get there as fast as possible, or you make sure that Storm stays close to
Does
you.
Storm move at full speed?
I would assume that Storm is running.
Then I follow Storm.
Okay. Because, you know, you have 60 feet, I think, with flying, which would take you up
Yeah.
to 120, and I think Storm is capped at 90 per turn. So you could technically fly a bit faster, but okay, so you maybe fly a bit ahead, but still make sure that you're keeping an eye on where Storm is. Alright, so at full speed, you're both really fast. It would have taken you maybe 10 minutes at a quick pace. I'd say you'll get there in probably like 4 minutes, because it's, yeah, that's reasonable, I suppose. You get there to this open square. You see that there are, let me just get the right notes. Yeah, so you get to the open square in front of the royal palace. It has to be the spot where you were told to be. You both kind of look around, Dara, from the sky, or do you float down, or do you?
I float down.
Okay.
So I assume he would be on the ground.
You see people, mostly like guards, wearing the kind of armors and colors of the city watch, that are patrolling the outskirts of this open square. There's like nobody out here. Everybody seems to have gone home. Like every now and again, or just looking around, you see like some people that are making their way home, probably, that are just like running a corner off in the distance. It's this massive open square space where there's like more or less nothing. Like there's some trees that grow along the kind of edges, or not quite the edges, but not, like in the outer parts of it. There's some like benches where you can sit, and there's a fountain near the middle. There's obviously the palace where there are a few more guards. You don't see Fawnen. You hear some like music off in the distance, just like a solemn tune that is being strummed on what sounds like a lute that comes from like the other side of the square, just off in the darkness. But the square itself is pretty much silent and empty.
Can I make a perception check to see if he's hiding somewhere around here?
You may. Storm, do you want to do one too, or are you just... Storm brought some food from the...
Yeah.
just grabbed some bread or whatever, and just jumped out of the window. And
Okay. Thank God for no sunlight sensitivity, for that there's no sun here.
So what
21.
did you get? 21. Okay.
Hey, same as me.
Is that your passive these days?
Yep.
Oh my
Oh God, you have expertise in perception. Oh
Yeah,
God.
yeah, it goes up by 2. Okay, so you both kind of look around a bit, and you don't see Fawnen anywhere. However, you see, in the kind of perfect open space, you see something dark that just is on the ground. Maybe like this big-ish. So not really anything big. You don't know if it is has anything to Yes, it's Baby Yoda. No, you don't know if it has anything to do with this, but there's some relatively square-shaped thing about that size.
walk up to it.
Okay, so you make your way over the square, and you see what it is a lantern. However, it has been extinguished. And I will say, Storm, with your passive perception, you quickly see that there's some things inside the lantern. Just maybe like a folded piece of parchment or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab that parchment piece.
Alright.
We're gonna get scolded.
Counting what's written on it.
You take out this little piece and you unfold it, and you see someone has just quickly written a very short message that just says, "We are not amused."
Nah.
Ooh.
We are not amused, huh?
Well, it seems we were too late.
I thought it was nice to be late.
Well, to
You're
a
like
certain
half an
degree,
hour late.
you have to be reasonably late.
Yeah, I guess. Well,
After a quarter, people are just gonna find you a dick.
we'll return to the blaze, I guess.
Well, yeah.
And hope
Unfortunately, my fly doesn't hold for very long, so I just have to walk.
Nice.
I think I have like 1 minute or so of my fly, and it's not worth it.
Yeah. Alright,
I'll
so
walk as well.
with this kind of not quite sad music, but just very serious, with a kind of sad undertone, played in a minor scale, obviously, for the music nerds. You're just walking away as the music fades.
Nice.
And as we
It's,
walk away, it starts going more lively.
Oh, it's an E minor, actually. No, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of add nines.
I don't know my music theory. I just know what a minor scale is. Okay.
Inverted fits and all that. And a lot of good stuff.
Stop! You're going too far. I don't know this.
Stop.
I know what a major scale is and a minor scale.
Fun fact: Slayer uses a lot of major scale.
Wow, that's unexpected.
Yeah,
Actually.
man.
Anyway, you start heading back. So the rest of you, you left the room, correct?
Yeah, we started heading
Yeah.
towards.
Yeah.
Okay, so you open the door. You see Blaze is still sitting in the dining room in the same seat as before. Cephalus has kind of sat down on one of the seats next to him. It would have been the one that Jaxson was sitting in before. And the two of them are just kind of having like a quiet conversation. When they see that you enter, you see Cephalus stands up and kind of takes his place behind Blaze instead.
Yeah, so...
Right. Hello.
Sorry for that. Quite long.
Don't worry, we've had an excellent conversation here. It's, you know, what is time anyway?
Well,
Yeah. 12 hours remaining.
says the guy who's fucking on death row. Well, there's, I guess, no easy way of saying this, but, well,
Well, if it's
We knew-
serious, perhaps you should sit down first.
no, thank you.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
we sit down.
Okay, fine. Arisa sits down.
Yeah.
But as soon as sits down,
What happened to the other two?
they
They're-
had to.
They're fixing some things.
I didn't see them leave.
Well, they
No.
had to jump out the window.
Had or had. They jumped out the window.
True.
Well, we are on the first floor, so
I have
could be worse.
good news and bad news, if we put it like that.
And-
Good news, we have found the seal.
So he kind of looks over at Cephalus. Cephalus looks back. They're both really surprised. You found the seal?
Yes.
You mean to say
indeed.
my lost seal?
Yes. Arisa pulls out the seal and hands it over.
He just like reaches out and puts his hand on like on Cephalus' arm and just, you see this? And he comes closer. I do. And they both just look at it. How is this
Well, there we come to the bad or tough news. It's because we were involved in stealing it.
You see Cephalus' look instantly changes to a kind of like shocking, more like angry, kind of like you did what look. Blaze just kind of looks up. Oh. Now that is
to be
a
more precise,
twist.
we were tricked and or forced, depending on who in the group we're referring to. Because, you see, we did not know, for one, the consequences of a teal being lost.
Right.
And second of all, this Kessler individual. Tell me if I need to roll for anything, by the way.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, just good. And this Kessler individual, he forced most, if not all, I'm unsure about specifics for everybody, but into stealing this and helping him gain access. And after the more, or as in pursuit of this seal, and the more we learned about it, and now as soon as we obtained it, Dara found out about this, and we found out about the actual consequences of losing one. We realized that we can't go through it. So, yeah, we've done wrong, but
Well, I mean, all that matters is that you did the right thing in the end. I can't say that I expected this turn.
yeah. I apologize for all this. Truly do.
Well, I have to say that I understand. I mean, you are mercenaries to some extent, are you not?
Well, I don't know what we are. Me, I'm just a girl on a pilgrimage that had to take a break trying to stop a man from burning down my homeland.
Well, let's just say I didn't get the vibes or the impression that you were the ideal citizens of a state when I first encountered all of you.
Well,
That's not
Not
to say
wrong
that
there.
you aren't likable. I find you very interesting, and I think that you are, not terrible people.
That's so nice of him to say.
thank you.
Oh, and yeah.
I'm sorry
It's
for
good
the distress.
Oh yes, this was quite distressing.
Terribly sorry, and I swear I will do everything in my power to put a stop to this man.
I've never been so glad to see this seal. Not even the
I
day
can
when I
understand
first... Not even the day when I first got it. And yet it feels so wrong to hold it now. I think this has shown me that I shouldn't have it. You returned it, yes. I am no longer awaiting execution, but who is to say how long before this happens next time? I'd like to think that I made a reputation for myself as being a good and honest man. And perhaps that's not the type of man that should have one of these.
Well, that depends. I still don't know what type of knowledge. Like, I'm not talking specifics because, of course, that's secret. But I'm more wondering, like, what's so special about this private wing?
Well, I'm sure you know that it holds the largest surviving collection of magical texts.
So I've been told.
It isn't... The private wing holds one more thing. I couldn't tell you much about it even if I wanted to, and I'm not supposed to tell you, I don't think. However, considering the circumstances and the fact that this Kessler seems like an individual to be taken seriously,
Yes.
I suppose there's no harm in simply telling you what I suspect that he might be after. There is a certain text that would be categorized as one of the magical ones. But it isn't just a text about magic, nor is it a regular spell scroll. It is something else. A relic of some sort. An immensely powerful one. People have tried to steal it in the past. It is usually why people try to get in there. At least if they make a serious attempt to do so. It is also the main reason why these seals even exist in the first place. To protect that item. If it gets into the wrong hands, I fear what might happen. I'm a historian, but I do not know what the consequences would be, since no one has really ever tried to use it.
You say you have had access to the private wing a lot, but do you have
Most
access
days,
to
yes.
that?
Yes. Well, it is protected by it is encased in a special case, which in turn is suspended in the air in a force field of sorts.
So one who has access to the private wing does not really have access to the item, just getting past.
Unless you were an immensely powerful spellcaster capable of dispelling the magic and somehow
Yes,
making it
but
out alive.
By just its intentions, the seal only grants you access past the first major
Yes.
obstacle.
We have
you are
access to
not-
everything else.
You're
Not that
still
one.
not granted that. I see. So,
From
Do you-
the research I've done, it was essentially being kept there for safekeeping. I cannot say off the top of my head who initially placed it there, but it has been there for a long time, before these seals were even given to, I suppose, common folk like myself, or even mages.
Were you allowed to read the
Relic?
the relic, or
No.
was
Nobody
No,
was.
nobody could
Anything but
access
that one. Nobody was allowed to take that.
I think I know what Kester's after. Maybe
Do tell, Jaxson.
he's already have one of the pages from the book. He wants another page.
What?
Clearly wants that book, probably. Because he's already stolen one page, and what it sounds
Which
like.
book are you referring to?
I don't know, like some magical book. When it was me, Dara, and Storm at the ball, he smuggled out one of the scrolls that was kept in Lord Cosmos or something's vault.
Oh yeah. Right. So you're
And
saying he
I
might be
read that
standing at home?
page, and I shouldn't have read it. And it sounds like that relic is similar to that, the page or the relic that he smuggled out. So that's two. That's a coincidence, probably. But I think that he's out for more pages.
Okay.
And together they might do something powerful.
Jaxson, Fritz, I feel like I can trust you enough with this. As well, of course, you, Blaze. This information does not leave this room.
He looks over to Cephalus and says, if you don't mind, I would like to vouch for Cephalus here. I can assure you that he is to be trusted. However, if you do feel uncomfortable with his presence...
No, I am fine with this.
Even Shrade didn't want to possess one of the papers or the relics.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you the limited amount of information I know about what Kessler's after in my home. You see, I actually don't know much. All I know is its location is inside a grove that is even forbidden and for us druids. And you see, it is vile magic, putting a force field around it. And inside, I suspect that it might be another one of these similar relics coming from a god.
If you think about it, he also wants to get through some of the vaults.
Yes.
And these vaults contain powerful items and relics.
And they're all...
vaults
what was that artificer's name again?
Well, Fritz, do you still have a list?
Daedalus vaults, right.
You see, his face gets more serious. If he suspects that they are kept within Daedalus's vault, then I am certain, more so than ever, that this is something to be taken very seriously, especially if this man actually has a way to get in there. To our awareness, nobody has ever opened one of those vaults.
You know quite a lot, right?
About history, yes, I would say so.
Would you know if there would be if you can find some, or some places protect some relics of some kind? Because we have the list, one of his to-do lists.
Fritz,
and
I think, didn't Fritz have an actual paper list still?
So if there's more relics,
a list of the relics or the places he has been targeting.
I think most of you pretty much have a copy.
Yeah. I think I
can't remember if I actually have a physical copy or not.
I think you wrote it down.
Okay, well, if you're fine with it, I have one, and then I would pull it out actually with a cross.
I mean, one of you is sure to have it.
Would you know if one of these places could store such a relic?
I'm just gonna bring up the list.
Under notes.
I point out that Dustcolor Grove is mine. It's my home, and I suspect it might contain something like that. I can't actually remember, so I'm gonna defer to the DM. But didn't the High Druid or whatever his title was, Archdruid? Thank you. It wasn't High, like. Didn't he mention something about like a battle with a god or something, or like an evil god or something like that, with the Dusk Hollow?
No, but there was mention of
something evil.
Entity, yeah.
Entity. So
you were told about a lady by the name of Verdana, if I'm not mistaken.
So I also tell this.
He looks at this list. Well, to go in order, Donor Castle, I believe that is in Laronia. A very highly defended position. Could definitely be capable of holding something valuable like this. Royal Vault of Elderthal, definitely a potential place. It is quite possibly the most highly defended position in all of Thromera, which
as
in
you can
turn
see, he has breached it.
Yes, I can see that. Lord de Cosmo, I only briefly met with him.
Well, we know that one of the pages came from there.
Lord de Cosmo is an archaeologist and a collector of magical things, among other things. So I wouldn't be surprised if the thing that you speak of is actually related to something bigger. Tinbor Gladding, another archaeologist, more or less neighbor of Lord de Cosmo. All the King's Library, that is this one. Curator Seranan. The curators are a group that try to achieve a balance between some of the more local druids of the Forest of Fae and the rest of civilization. They are like a bridge between the two societies. They have magical artifacts. The Library of Drenza Alarian. Rings a bell, but I cannot say more than that. It is more or less a mythological location, if I'm not mistaken. The Hailblades are an important historical family of Terrarendur, more or less a family of lordship. And they are a dwarven family. Dwarves like to collect riches, rarities, strange trinkets and baubles. I wouldn't be surprised if the Hailblades, being one of the mightiest families in the country, would have somehow managed to lay their hands on a very powerful artifact like this one. The Biting Gorge, you say that this is a place... Oh no, the Biting Gorge. I'm not unsure about that one. And the Dusk Hollow Grove, you speak of that one as being part of...
It's a long-kept secret among in the Druid circle, but I don't know, like, even I, who, frankly, my position within the Druid circle is nothing to scoff at, have next to no information about it whatsoever. This is all I've, through all my years, known about it.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know anything about that place, to be honest. I have heard of druids by the Forest of Dusk, but I couldn't really say more about that. That is not exactly the type of history that I'm specialized in, as I'm sure you understand.
Of course.
Besides, druids tend to be very secretive and like to keep their information to themselves, so
Never noticed.
even attempting to acquire a significant amount of information tends to be futile.
I don't know what you mean. No.
Continuing down the list, the Archives of Juris Arcanum, definitely the number one, well, along with the Daedalus Vaults. Those two would definitely, if anywhere on the Dawn World, be the place where you could find something like this. However, if this man, Kessler, honestly expects to be able to take things from either of these two places, it means that he is incredibly powerful. Juris Arcanum was the old seat of the High Table and the pride of this capital of the Arcanum. It is also, in addition to that, currently the seat of the government of Field Marshal Brutus's new government of Mageia. He has whatever remnants there are of the army of Null Magi that took down the most powerful organization in the Dawnworld's history. If he expects to break into these vaults, he either knows something that nobody else knows, or he is immensely powerful. Same with Daedalus's vault. As I said, nobody to our knowledge, few vaults are even known about where they are. And the ones that are known are still closed and have been watched constantly since their discovery. There is no way anybody has ever opened them that didn't have a key during the time when Daedalus was still around. And
Well,
no matter. The last two places, Palace of Daju Zari. I'm no linguist per se, but the name does remind me of the Three Empires. What little history I know about them.
the Three Empires?
To the east, beyond the wastelands.
Oh.
A civilization that has not had any significant contact with the Dawnworld in centuries, if ever.
I see.
And Mazara's Labyrinth. I couldn't say more about that, but it seems like this Kessler is, at least at the time of writing this list, as clueless as we are in that regard.
This was... How long was it?
This was about 2 months ago?
No more. You
5.
were away from each other for about 4 months, I think.
Oh, okay, 4. Okay.
Was it that long we were away?
Let me
well-
check this. So this would have been when you were in Venderthal, meaning that...
When Isidore thing.
Yeah, it would have
Yeah.
been around the end of Life's Fervor. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4... About 4 months and 2 weeks, maybe. Give or
Alright.
take.
Well, then we know if these are the plans to get pages. He has maybe 5 pages or relics already.
Yes. Well,
I will say at this point, Dara and Storm, since you didn't really have the same speed capabilities on the way back, since Dara isn't the fastest individual, and unless you, Storm, wanted to just ditch her and run ahead, it would take you longer to get back. But you would probably be returning around about now.
Sure.
Are you gonna use the window, or...
Let's knock on the door.
No, we
Dara.
no, just reasoning. Maybe they haven't noticed or told that we were gone.
So, Dara, you walk up to the door, Storm, you walk around to the window. Is that what it is?
Wasn't the window like a top floor? Or,
No, first
No, no,
or was I
it's
only
not.
imagining that?
No, it was on the first floor.
Okay.
So,
'Cause I was
I
thinking
mean,
like-
first floor can cause confusion since the British people tend to refer as the first floor as the floor above the ground floor.
What the US usually refers to as the second floor.
Yeah, because in the US, you enter the first floor and you go up to the second floor. In the UK, you enter the ground floor and you go up to the
Or
first
bottom
floor.
floor,
So
yeah.
it is.
Well,
I've heard the bottom
anyway,
floor as well.
Well, that's
Well, that
probably
depends.
synonymous.
but it's usually ground by
Hmm.
by standard. But
I
then,
think
of
you can
course-
have a bottom floor if you have a basement, so that you have a bottom floor and a ground floor, technically.
Well, ground floor actually comes from on the basement term, because it's the one on the ground, a level to the ground.
Anyway, let's not discuss
Yeah.
linguistics here and etymology. That's what I.
Tune in next week. no, I'm kidding.
I've done enough of that in my university studies that I don't feel like doing that in my D&D sessions.
Well, they arrive.
Yeah. So there's a knock on the door, and as Cephalus leaves to go open, Storm just opens the door that you to the room that you were in before, and just steps into the room. Benedict Blaze looks surprised.
What I missed?
Oh, you are back. Well,
You look happier than you were before. Why did you do that?
well, you see the seal that lies on the table in front of
Ah, there we go. That's why. Lovely.
We need to go to
Yeah, I stole
Faber as
it.
well.
But
Well-
now it's back to you. Congrats.
Well, we were discussing the details of I suppose your employer.
Yeah, not anymore.
Sure.
For the least.
We think we know what he's up to.
At this point, Dara and Cephalus enter the room as well. Dara, you
How
see
about
Storm. You didn't even notice that he was gone to begin with because he's so stealthy. So you just enter the room and you see Storm standing there and like, yeah, okay.
Enter the window.
Yep.
Did you close the window after you?
Yeah, now I did. Not last time.
Good.
Great.
Well, back to the things. I was wondering, as this is now as serious, if not more serious than I feared before, I wonder if I could ask you for a favor. I have no right to do so, but
I think that this is doing a favor for the world, quite
of
frankly.
course, but what I would ask, and feel no obligation, of course, I have to say yes, but to in fact keep your seal, but for at least for a bit of time, to see if we can't use the information in the All the King's library to figure out a way to stop Kessler, or to keep track, because even if we don't give him away, based on this list, then the information gathered before, I doubt, if we don't help him, I doubt that anything here will stop him from doing so.
I think, in large, you are correct. However, I will still go discuss this with the Queen in the morning. If I'm to keep the seal, I will need increased security, to say the least. But I do agree that someone needs to use the information to look into the matter.
Yes, and I intend to do so, but what I mean is, at least while we're still in town, that maybe not giving up the seal? I don't know, it's your call. I'm just...
Well, yes, but that is why I'm considering how I can go about doing this without risking both my life and the seal ending up in the wrong hands. The Queen needs to be made aware of this. It is,
What if we simply go and tell her about it, that in fact we were hired, but instead of telling that we actually stole it, we found out that you were one of the holders of it, and instead contacted you to tell you about this, and go from there, and you suggested telling the Queen. So instead of it ever losing any property from anyone, we instead informed somebody who had the seal, and thereby I had somebody who the Queen would likely listen to when such a threat because I doubt just a common peasant would.
Oh no, I do
she
see
would
your
heed the
point.
word.
I do see the point that you are trying to make. That might work.
What does the rest of you say?
Well,
Good question.
this is a hard one. We should still act like we're still under the employment of him for the moment to not draw any too much attention, but
Well, I guess, but I don't know how much he would. What happened at the meeting?
Storm, you have the note, so you may want to show them.
I threw that shit away.
You what?
It was a
Dara,
note with
you-
one word on.
Wait, but that
burned the
could have
letter,
been used
come
to
on.
track him. That could have been used to track him.
Yeah, I don't give a damn. I don't want to track him.
Says the guy who just broke into Faunen's quarters and stalked his
To know
house.
what he was. Oh fuck it. I do see the Storm's logic, but it's really.
Yeah.
It's like,
Anyway, it said something. Well, Storm,
It's
do you remember
they're
that whole?
not fucking impressed or something.
Do you remember that time that I burned down that letter and you didn't stop saying that I shouldn't have burned that letter for multiple months?
We all
It's not
did.
even the same thing. Because you don't
This is the
remember
same
it.
thing.
I kind of agree with Storm here.
This is the same thing.
No, it was not. It said literally he's not amused. You see, I
We are
remember
not
what it said
amused.
on the-
The other letter.
how
I
did you
remember
find
what-
it, and where did you find it?
In a
at the
lantern.
lantern.
Okay, so
place where
no
we
one
were
was
going.
there to deliver it.
No, it was there. Just
Yeah, well, they were like half an hour late, so
yeah.
Yep.
They probably got bored waiting.
they don't seem like the people with
Anyway,
the.
what the hell are we talking about?
Right, so
This is leading nowhere.
we think that we know what Kessler is after, but we don't know
Okay.
what that
What is
thing
he after?
actually is. You remember the scroll or the page that we had in
Yep.
our dressing room before?
That you read?
Yeah, and got all fucked up.
Yep.
So vicious. He's probably after all of those relics.
Good for him.
Well,
And yeah,
Storm, what might interest you is the fact that this man is naught but trouble, but actually stopping him now, as you seem to only care for money, that stopping them, I don't see why some of these individuals would not pay a great sum to have it not be stolen.
I was a pirate 9 months ago, and I left my pirate life to adventure, not running around trying.
And
to
then you became a king.
being some evil man. Don't you hear how boring it would be just to run to your druid place, wait for him. Oh, nice, he's here. Stop him.
Well,
Run to the next
that-
place.
That's
Stop him. That is no adventure.
that's not
is
what I'm
slavery.
speaking of either. But fine, whatever.
With all due respect, Storm, I believe in a situation like this, cutting off the head of the snake is the only way to kill it. Simply chasing after the tail is not going to help.
Of course, but what I mean
Great.
is,
But how
if we
long will that take if he has this much power, going for daedalus vaults and everything, the most fucking no one has ever opened, and we're just some freaking pirate and some.
I suspect that the longer this is allowed to continue, the more powerful he will only get.
yes.
Exactly.
But right now, all we can
Am
do
I
is
going to
chase
waste
tail.
9 months to shake this fucking snake That doesn't sound very fun, eh? Does it?
What else do you suggest?
Adventure. I want to see the Kraken. I want to see mermaids.
So you say we should just ignore this?
I do not care for what other people do. I care what I do, not what he does.
No one is forcing
What will
you.
this result in? What will he do? Will he end the world like Dara came up with? Well, then
Potentially.
Yeah.
What? How do you know that?
We don't, but we know nothing good can come from
I
this.
will say this much, as a historian and an erudite in general, this one piece of what seems to be only one of many has been guarded, protected more than anything else by an entire kingdom for centuries.
Wow, yeah, that's why it's in a private wing. You can steal a seal and then just go in and get it.
There are
the
many
shit.
more levels of protection to it.
I hope so. Why is it open to the public? I stole that seal.
It is
The
open.
easiest thing I've ever done, and I could have gone in there and stole it for myself.
With all due respect again, I do not believe that you have the magical capabilities to dispel a spell that has been active for centuries.
Huh?
Nor do I think that you have what it takes to even open the case that it has been locked
Well, do you
within.
think then I have the power to stop the man who can?
No, but you not alone. But maybe you can either gain that power, or we can together accumulate enough power.
Listen to this. I have nothing else to do at the moment, so I might try to go with you lads. But if this is as boring as I see it being, and we are just going to run into a wall and do literally nothing, then I am leaving. But let's see where this
That's
goes, eh?
fair. Thank you.
And then I
No.
might join Kessler if that seems a lot more fun. But don't judge me.
In that
Don't worry,
case, just
we've already judged you way before that, so...
if that were to happen, just don't tell him anything that you know of our plans.
Of course. You are my co-workers after all.
Almost like we are friends.
That was the sweetest thing I've ever heard from Storm's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
As a
never thought
DM, I don't believe Storm for even 1%.
Well, I think I know what we need to do next.
What?
Go to Schreiber. Probably tomorrow because
And do what?
he knows about the pages. Well, he knows. I don't even know. Was it
Tell
page?
us.
I think we should go first thing tomorrow to the Queen.
I don't think he will let us in.
You can't just go
Exactly.
Yeah, I only think...
If we get the audience with the Queen, we can do it. But
Well, What I mean
That-
is if Blaze here goes and reports the situation with us and Tail, and we explain the situation, that. But I am fine with going to Schreiber as well. Can you
because
go
he
before?
knows about the page. Well, we have asked him for information before, and he clearly knew about them.
But I say we should report this and seeing if we can't get help from the Queen.
That is assuming that we, as a group, can have an audience with the Queen.
Well, there's always one way.
I doubt that would be hard. The difficulty is making her believe if that not only that it is a true threat, but also that we can help and are not, in fact, enemies of the state. That is going to be the hard part.
I don't think that we will get an audience with the Queen tomorrow because you can't just march in there and say that you want to talk with her, even if you're if you know
It's
her.
declared an emergency, but I see your point.
I believe that I will be able to speak with her, or at the very least, if the matter is deemed to not be relevant to her specifically, then to her court mage, excellent Neon.
The thing here is that we can't just tell anyone either because we don't know who Kessler is, he or she can be like someone right under our noses, and have people everywhere. So we need to trust the people we tell them. The queen is probably trustworthy.
That is true. Oh, but the queen, I'm pretty sure we can trust. As
Yes,
the
yes,
queen
of
would
course,
have no
the queen.
trouble. I think we can probably trust the court mage, excellence, as he would also more than likely have enough leeway to be able to steal this and make it look like somebody else, pin it on somebody else, without needing external help from people such as us.
I can assure you that excellent Naomi can be trusted in this matter. She is
Perfect.
the cousin of the queen and, well, happens to be involved in the distribution of these seals to begin with.
That's what I mean.
If they were able to simply go through her, then they would already have their seal.
Exactly. But question is, what our next move is. Do we try explaining it for Syria, or do we stay low key until further notice and just see? Because more than likely, whether we help or not, I do believe that this magical text, this relic, will be stolen quite soon from the library.
I can agree about that.
Indeed.
So
I
question
think-
is, watch the ripples from the shadows, or do it together with the help of, or hopefully with the help of Assyria?
Well, hopefully the best thing would be to have to make Kessler believe that we still work for him. Because if he believes that we work for him, he will wait for us to give him the seal. As soon as he realizes that we don't, he's going to step in and send someone else to do the job for him. And the longer that can be postponed, the better.
But how would we?
By doing the tournament so that we can earn an audience with the queen.
True.
Pretend that we're still working for him.
So, what about this? When was the tournament exactly?
We had one tomorrow. Was it 2 days or 1 day?
I believe it's in 2 days, so you have nothing tomorrow. The
Yes.
day after it.
And that's the
I think.
gauntlet.
That is the first thing that you have, so it is the gauntlet, yeah.
Yes, it's a gauntlet.
Blaze, how long would it take for you to be able to speak to the queen?
I will, well, if she is at all interested in hearing my say in the matter, then I should be able to speak with her tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, okay. So, would you say it's better for you to speak with her one-on-one and then bring us in, or?
I think it would be best if I go speak with her and put in a good word for you.
So what about this? Tomorrow we go and we speak to Schreiber.
Mm-hmm.
You go and speak to the queen. And then should we go for the tournament
That's
and
next
wait until
day.
then? Yeah, wait until then before we get an audience, but that might take a while. Or should we?
Well, she
What
might
then?
contact us if she wants to talk with us, but I don't think she will do that.
I agree with you, Dara, that we shouldn't tip our hand, but I'm not sure what we can really do in also disguising the fact.
Well, what I think is, if we continue doing what we're doing and don't draw too much attention, they will at least probably just think that we're incompetent, but still let us continue on. But don't go
Mhm.
and tell him we're not gonna do it or something like that.
We need to have an excuse as well why we didn't give him the seal today. And why we won't have it.
Well, how did you contact and what did you say when you
I wrote a letter to him and gave it to one of the innkeepers, a nocturnal nymph.
Well,
But what did the letter say? Did you say that you had it?
Basically, that we had the seal and it was urgent that we would give it to him.
Okay, what if we claim that after you had wrote and sent this in, we got drunk to celebrate and passed out, and when we woke up, you showed it to the rest of us. It was first of all past the meeting, and second of all, we realized it wasn't in fact a seal. It was just some old heirloom of some kind.
Or we just find a random seal and give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not the real
Yes, we need
an
to
old
have
seal.
We need to have something to give him to show him what we found.
Yeah,
'Cause he would probably want to see it.
unfortunately, he might think we're so incompetent that he's just going to terminate the contract if we do that. But
Well, it's better.
Yeah,
than
it's
him
better than
knowing
probably
that
the
we
best
want.
we have.
Well, it's better than we quitting, because then he knows there's something up.
Yeah. We need some form of excuse, and that's the best we got.
And then we
Yes.
say we still have the backup plan of the tournament.
Yeah, that would
What's
be
the backup plan?
That the tournament. We claim
Alright,
that our
right.
backup plan is the tournament.
To earn an audience with it.
Yeah, so if we can't, like, we tried to steal it, so we thought we didn't need an audience or like somehow gain it through that way, like an audience maybe steal it there or something.
Yes.
But basically, that is our fallback plan officially in quotation marks. Like,
I think that sounds quite good.
Sounds good to me.
so
Do you have an opinion on the matter?
No. I'm just doing what you guys say at this point.
All right.
You guys had the plans.
Very well.
I think this has been quite an eventful day and especially evening. That we should all get some rest.
You know,
Should we-
when I told Cephalus last night that today would be an exciting day, I was referring to taking my students to the Garden of the Alder Royals. I didn't expect to have my seal stolen by old acquaintances and then returned by those said acquaintances.
Again, sorry about that.
Yes, we're truly sorry about that.
I'm not one to dwell on past
Nice.
past
Said the
mistakes.
historian. Said the historian. The past does not interest me.
Oh, well, it very much does, naturally. Simply, I don't hold grudges. I try to look at things from a neutral lens. I suppose my studying of history and attempting to be as unbiased and close to the truth as possible has led me to that point. That and about 3 centuries of life experience.
Very well.
Should we come back here tomorrow and we can tell you what we found about the texts and you can tell us what happened with the meeting?
I think that sounds appropriate, yes.
Well, then we will see you tomorrow.
Yes, I'm going to try to have a good night's sleep. And I am definitely going to be keeping my seal very close tonight.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it does. Well, I think all of us have quite a lot of work to do, and Storm, you seem to be hesitant to jump ship, so to speak.
I'm thrilled to jump ship.
I
I am thrilled.
I would assure you that abandoning this path of following Kessler is indeed in all of our interests. These artifacts, well, let us just say that I fear from an educated yet not specialized point of view that having one of these things end up in the wrong hands, let alone multiple,
But we
would
could always
perhaps
do something
would
if you everyone
perhaps make Isidore seem like a spoiled child. Now,
other powerful people do something about it. If
the
this
gods,
Tesla came around, we
I-
have a fucking so many countries here, and then we have a rainbow dragon down south, eh?
yes,
Are they just gonna chillax and not do anything against the Kessler who's out for some pages? Guess not.
I fear that
Coworkers have to stop
people.
him.
I fear that a lot of people that are bound by duties tend to wait until it is too late to act. Or at least until it is too late to have the optimal outcome. I am a historian after all. I've seen this mistake be repeated hundreds, if not thousands of times. Kings and queens don't take matters seriously enough until they see their own position be threatened.
I am a king, so I don't take it seriously.
Well, perhaps you should learn from the mistakes of your predecessors.
Thank you, historian. I will. I will see
Nothing to
where the road takes me, and then we'll see what happens, what I choose.
At the very least, I would ask you not to help speed up this process, because by the time that you realize what you are doing, I think you will not have a path of redemption.
I'll take your thought into consideration.
That is all I can ask.
Perfect. Now, I am in quite a bad mood because I lost money while betting, so I'm going to sleep now. See you later.
Of
We will
course.
see you
Weather
later.
out.
Keep a weather out.
Do you use the window?
Yup.
So you had for a moment you see Cephalus kind of like, he's going to use the window, isn't he?
Just close the window when you're done.
The window can only be closed from the inside. I will make sure
And
that
it's
it is
gone.
closed. And Cephalus heads off, closes the window, and then returns. Well, I suppose since Storm has taken his leave, unless there is something else that is urgent that we haven't already discussed, I think perhaps just meeting up tomorrow again would be our best line of action.
No, nothing more than, again, what I told you before is of strictest confidence, and not even the Queen.
Very well. It was good to see you all again, albeit very strange and
Indeed.
not exactly how I had anticipated that our potential reunion would look like.
Indeed.
But I am glad to have some work to do. I was feeling myself slacking off a bit. If nothing else, this has given me some motivation to keep working.
Great. Well, see you tomorrow.
Yes, that we will. I might have to cancel class, it seems, but I think that is better than being entirely dead, so you know. I am sure my students can cope.
Hopefully they can.
I'm certain.
Very well. I bid you good night.
You too.
Thank you.
I will look forward to our meeting tomorrow, dear thieves.
Well, technically, if we're to be specific,
go
only
with it.
3 of us were.
Perhaps.
But yes.
You have other things, Arisa.
Yeah, true.
Mhm.
I just, you
Always
know,
gonna blame. No shit.
No,
Oh my fucking
Listen to what I'm
lord.
saying, freaking. Just for the comedy of the whole thing, that technically 2 of us was just thieves. The rest, we have one apparently vandal and one pet owner.
Technically, I watched.
Yeah.
Why does Jaxson always end up being the guy that is just like there but doesn't do the bad stuff? He just is completely aware of what is going on
Yeah.
and does nothing to
Yeah.
stop it. That's what happened with Lord Nicodemus when you murdered him. It was like he just stood there. He wasn't even there technically. Jaxson just like knew
He knew
exactly when and what was happening. He just saw them walk into the shed and were like,
Yeah.
yep, he's dead
Getting
now.
out of trouble.
Yeah, Storm
Like,
always does the deed, and
3,
Dara always enables him.
2, 1. I think that's when Storm killed
I mean,
him.
if we're gonna
Oh,
get Clarabelle! Survive. Well, okay, yeah. I guess we leave the...
And
Okay.
I guess we part way with Fritz, as he's heading to the tavern as well.
Yeah, I miss saying that we should meet up in the morning at the tavern as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Well,
Fritz,
head to
you
your
go back to your little quarters, I assume?
Yeah, the little hideout,
Yeah.
safe house thing.
And then the 3 of you go to the Nocturnal Nymph.
Yeah.
And then, Storm, you're still staying at the same inn?
Yep.
Alright. I think you have to pay for your next night, I suppose.
Oh, goody.
I don't think so because I gave him like gold or something.
I can't remember, but the rest of you at least. So
No clue.
that would be, I believe Jaxson has the single deluxe room, so that would be 10 per night, and then the double room would be 8 per night for the 2 of you.
You or I, Dara?
You can take this one.
You share your economy.
Yeah, I know. It's more like it's more to make sure that we don't like double subtract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my treat today.
Basically, who takes the because otherwise, like, if we start fucking double paying for shit, that's bad.
Okay, so does anyone else want to do anything before going to bed?
No.
Not that I can think of right now, other than just I
guess I'll do
would
the
like
normal
just before we go to bed, I would tell kinda like Dara the same information about the grove, which I think you basically knew most of that.
I
And
knew
kinda-
most of it.
Yeah,
I
and
don't-
kind of recap like in more detail like what we found out about the list and stuff.
Yeah.
Just so you were more up to speed.
I knew he was evil all along.
And Fritz, what did you say? Oh,
I'll just do my normal daily report to the people. I mean, basically recap for the...
sure thing.
Wait, do you tell about the...
What do you tell about exactly? Like, do you leave anything out?
I mean, I guess it's more focused on the Kessler part of it.
Alright.
And, you know, since Benedict talked about the wing part, basically, you know, it's in pretty bad danger, potentially.
Yep. Sure.
We have a snitch among us. No.
Dun, dun.
There is an imposter among us.
You want to know what would be really, really evil by Jacob to do right now? Making Benedict Blaze Kessler. It would literally
that has
destroy
actually
everything.
crossed my mind, but yeah.
Yeah, that would be purely evil.
Who is the imposter?
Yeah.
It was Red, I saw him. Acting really sus.
Ludvig.
Oh, right.
Or me. Like, it's either me or him.
Yeah, true.
No,
Either
but like,
the
if
person
we're
with the
talking
red
like
Discord
serious,
thing or-
Benedict ain't actually too unlikely when it comes, or like too far fetched, because of the fact that if it's somebody who has the seal or has access to a seal, he could, if it's himself, he could get them to steal from himself as kind of, you know, one of those hazing or trial ones for the first one.
Pulling out a Palpatine.
Well,
Yeah,
more
that's
or
right.
just seeing basically how willing and in what way. Like, he gave us that, so like,
True.
give us the target and then just see would we betray him.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. But
I mean, at the same time, I can see Storm being Kester, because this is something I can see Storm trying to make as a plan.
Ah, yes. This is part of Storm's backstory.
Yep.
Yes.
Kessler is his alter ego that, you know,
Storm is
I
just
still
all
think that
dressed as a
Clarabelle
friend.
is the one.
me and Simon have spent the better part of a year just developing this plot arc so that he can turn out to be the BBEG of the campaign.
Yeah.
But we all know it's Clarabelle.
No, but seriously, so does everybody just go to bed after,
Yeah.
like,
Si,
having your
si.
little talks and
I think so, yeah.
reports and stuff? Okay. So you all go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's been quite a day for pretty much all of you. So it feels really good to get some sleep. Jaxson. As you're sleeping,
I get kidnapped.
you kind
You
of...
feel a little tingle in your pants.
No, not that. But you feel like there's something, and you just kind of like wake up a little bit and just look around, and you see two figures in your room. One that is sitting at one of the chairs that has been pulled up just to like the edge of the bed. The other one is standing kind of at the foot of the bed. You see the closest figure is an elven man with longer golden blonde hair, and his skin in the moonlight that shines through almost has a metallic golden sheen to it. You see by the foot of the bed a furbolg woman with two scars diagonally across her face, both clad in well-crafted but worn armor. And you see the elven man just kind of leans in a bit closer. Hi, Jaxson. You're gonna keep quiet, right?
Sure.
I'm glad. See, your little stunt to send a message to Funen without actually showing up wasn't really appreciated.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm sure you're sorry now that we're sitting here.
No, I was sorry before as well. Yes. We made a mistake and stuff.
A mistake.
Yes. We didn't actually have a deal here. We thought we had a deal, but it was wrong, and we were still embarrassed.
Make a perception check.
You get fucked, I don't.
I need to check my... Okay. Oh, fuck that.
A golden die for a golden man.
Alright,
did you get?
Golden die. 17.
17.
Rolled a 19, so with my -2. Fuck.
I mean, it's
Maybe.
best you got.
Okay, care to tell me more?
Well, Dara, she she read some books and found a seal, and Kessler said that when we saw the seal, we should know, and the seal looked like the seal. But then it broke, and usually magical stuff doesn't really work.
Alright. And so you thought it was a good idea to just not even show up?
Oh, we showed up. It was just a bit late.
A bit late. Well, that's
saw the
pretty much
lantern.
equivalent to not showing up.
Yes.
So, what took you so long?
Right?
We just panicked. We didn't know what to do, and when we talked about what to do, we forgot the time, and when we were done, it was too late.
So he looks over towards the Furbolg woman. She just kind of like stands there, arms crossed. Does not really look all that impressed. I'll tell you what, Jaxson.
Mm-hmm.
We were told to come here and teach you a lesson. Have you learned a lesson?
Indeed.
Have you really?
Yes. We should never not show up.
I don't think that was the whole lesson, was it?
We should respect Fawnen, and we should keep our word and be on time and know that he's above us. That he's the one that is in power here.
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh. I don't have minus in this one. Let's go.
Yeah, because you're noble, so you're proficient.
3. Natural one.
Have fun.
I
Man.
don't think that was the whole lesson. What really was meant to be the lesson is that you're supposed to take your job very seriously
Yes.
and
We are
not
only going to
waste
be-
anybody's bloody time.
Yes.
So I think, as he comes a bit closer and the Furbolg woman starts walking around to the other side of the bed.
Is there a window in my room?
Yeah, but you would have to make your way past either
No.
of them.
I'm making myself ready to miss this out.
Okay.
If they try to anything, just like, oh, I'm not gonna get fucking
Now, is the thing.
jumped.
You have to take people like Fulnan, like Kessler, very seriously, yeah?
Yes. Of course.
Because if you screw around like you have been doing now, then bad things happen.
It will never happen again. You have my word.
What is your passive perception?
It's 11.
No!
At this point, you feel a punch to your face coming from the woman on the other side. Because you would have been too distracted at the moment looking at him to notice that she was readying a full blow.
I wouldn't miss a step out if it was just like a punch.
Yeah, so that is going to be.
Hey, she needs to roll actually to see if she.
Oh yeah, I rolled. That was natural 18.
Fuck.
And you're not even in your armor because you're sleeping.
Oh.
So.
No, I sleep in my armor.
Okay, well
What
then
are
you don't get the benefits of the long rest, pretty much.
Ah, no.
I don't know if that. I know the math professor made that ruling at some point. I can't remember if that is actually in the rules.
Are you sure it wasn't below 12?
No, that is a natural 18.
Not minus like
So
7.
you're gonna take 6 damage from that one punch.
That's not nice.
So, repeat it. What did you learn?
I need to take people like Fawnen and Kessler very serious. Don't waste their time. Take the job very serious. Yes.
Mm-hmm. This time he's gonna go for a punch as well.
Oh.
There's a natural 19. So that is another 6 damage.
Yeah, I hope. Oh no, I'm not gonna dodge because you can see if someone dodges.
Again. Say it again.
But I should not waste my superior's time and take you serious and do my job good, better, perfect, no mistakes.
Very well done.
And she's gonna go for another punch.
Where is this happening, in fact?
In his room.
So is it
Oh, that was a garbage roll. Pretty sure that misses.
How much?
Was natural, because it's on advantage because you're prone. It was a natural 1 and a natural 4.
Yeah,
And I think...
I have 12.
Oh, wait. I need a 12. Wait, with a 4...
That might maybe hit.
Yeah, that should hit, actually.
Okay.
That should be exactly a 12 or a 13. I don't have the stats right now, so I can't say for sure. But yeah, that is minimum of 12. So she still hits, so that's another 6 damage. Essentially, unless you're going to try something to make your escape, they're going to continue like this until you're barely conscious.
Lovely.
Would I really?
So unless you're going to try to make a run for it at some point, they're just going to continue making you repeat it. And every time you do, you know, they
How
just
loud
watch
is this?
Yeah, I will
Assuming
use
like
to step
in pain
outside.
and shit,
Okay.
like he would probably be.
After how many punches would you go?
Like,
Because this was the 3rd one, so... it's minimum
if
of
I
3.
noticed that they were just gonna keep after they said well done, then I would do it in like the 2nd one. After like they said like, oh good job.
Well, because this was the 3rd punch, obviously.
Yeah.
So
So like the 4th punch.
This is the earliest.
Mhm.
So you wait for one more? Or...
If I see him try, like, can I make him like insight check to see if they're gonna keep doing it?
Sure, make an insight check.
Oh, okay, 13, not that. But
I mean, it's hard to tell.
okay,
They're kinda hard to read, like...
Yeah. Okay, they're probably done.
Yeah, so... you repeat it again, you take another punch from him, at
And
this
then
point
I
you
need
take
to
4
step up.
punches. Okay. So when he just tells you to do it again, you're just like... And missed a step. Okay, so you just go... you can only miss the steps to a place that you can see, I think.
Yeah, like I look
So
out the window.
you're gonna take a bit of a fall. Because you're still in
Yeah.
the bed when this is happening. So you're gonna fall
Yeah.
and take... it's not that much, 2 damage. Bludgeoning. Not that that should matter. As you fall to the ground. Okay. I think that might actually be a good point to end the session.
Dun, dun, dun.
How much noise did this make?
Not a terrible amount. I mean,
I
unless
know how
you started
to
screaming.
take a punch.
Yeah.
No,
Jaxson, if anyone in the group knows how to control his reactions to pain, considering that he literally cuts his arms for extra power on a daily basis when he's out adventuring. So, you know.
It's more of a moan of pleasure rather than...
Oh, wait. Can I change what I did first? Because I realized
Depends.
I would miss the step Oh, I would try to grab my stuff and then Mrs. about.
Would you be sleeping with that?
No. I mean, like, I have it, like, in the corner, probably.
I mean, the glaive might be close to the bed or something. I don't know where we put that.
Well, if it's in the corner, then because this is a pretty big room, so you're gonna have to like either try to make a run for it, which is gonna be difficult with both of them over you in the bed. I'd say that this is something you should have thought about before.
Okay, yeah,
But
right.
may I ask, like, where does he miss it? Like, out into the hallway
Just
or
straight out of the window. Straight out of the
Yeah,
window.
to the outside.
I see.
So yeah, no, I'll say that's too big of a change to.
Yeah.
You should have done something about that before.
I forgot about those stuff.
So as you just go falling out of the window, landing on the streets below, just kind of feeling your ankles hurt. That is where we ended the session. So a slightly shorter one this time, just under 4 hours, I think, in terms of gameplay time. But we started pretty late and whatnot, so it's kind of inevitable.
Quite a little amount of stuff happened, yet a lot.
It was a very focused session, but I'd say a lot of things happened within that topic, kind of.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, there weren't a lot of different things, like...
No.
Just a lot of big things happened within that span.
There is, this is once again putting us in a position where the future is very unsure. And who knows what happens next.
Guys, can we just decide on a thing?
Well, I would say I feel pretty confident about next session for once.
I mean, I guess we'll see if there will be a session next week, since I heard that some of you seem to have trouble, or potentially have trouble making it. So we'll have to talk about that and see if we can manage to figure something out. Otherwise, the week after that,
just
I suppose.
Make sure to drop us a follow if you like the content, and if you want to be notified if we change the date, then maybe even check out the Twitter.
Yep.
Also, we don't have a Patreon, but if we had one, you should definitely give us money.
Well, if we end up becoming
Please set
affiliates...
one up for us. Could you please set one up for us, and then give us that?
Look, if we become affiliates, then you can subscribe. Oh yeah,
Well,
that's
we're
a
not
good
too
idea,
far off,
man.
thankfully. Just the fact that a month reset, I think. No.
Yeah, maybe.
We just need to be active this month. A bit more.
Yep, we'll figure something out. Maybe somehow become affiliate. But that's something for another day anyway. So for now, I suppose we bid you all farewell. And then we'll see you when we see you. And follow our
Thanks
Twitter
for watching.
account for some pretty much last second updates on when we're gonna play.
Well,
True.
So yeah, thanks for watching, as has been said before, and yeah, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.